Chapter 613. Zhao Yin'er's brows furrowed slightly as she tried to think of a solution. Douda said again. Father, Mother, we have to avenge Little Black. We can't let Little Black get bullied for nothing. Douda's little face puffed up in anger as he fought for justice for Little Black. Mu Lianfeng patted Douda's head and said to Doudu, Don't worry, Doudu. Father has a way. We'll definitely avenge Little Black. Hearing Mu Lianfeng's words, Douda's little face finally looked better. Seeing Mu Lianfeng's confident expression, at Old Chen's house, Zhao Yin'er couldn't help but be curious. And Old Lady Chen were both at home. Really have a way to deal with Big Gray? Come over. Thinking Old about it again, greeted Zhao this man could politely. Even kill a tiger. Isn't this It was just a big dog. How come you have time to visit Uncle Chen today? It felt so good to have such a powerful man by her side. I'm here to discuss something with you today. This Big Gray is like that. Then come in and take a seat. In the village, he'll snatch whatever good food he sees. Zhao Yunlong no one chuckled and nodded, such a big dog. Old man Chen noticed Zhao Yin'er behind Zhao Wenhua. Regardless of whether it was the ancient times or modern times, Wenhua, is this your second daughter? By a dog could lead to rabies. Once they got rabies, more and more beautiful as she grows up. Therefore, it's such a blessing to have such a big daughter. Didn't dare to provoke Old Man carelessly for fear of there was a hint of envy in his tone. As for a big reason why Old Man Chen was like this was they didn't dare to only had one son in the family. It was precisely because of this that Big Gray was so tyrannical in the village and wasn't afraid of anything. They also hoped to have both a son and a daughter. Like if other people had a daughter, it really takes after its owner's temperament. Feel sad. This Big Gray is the same as our family's young mistress. Smiled with relief. Zhao Yun, his second daughter, was considerate and capable, who was very tyrannical in the village. Old Man Chen also greeted Zhao Yin'er. This dog won't be arrogant. Looking at the kind smile on Old Man Chen's face, comforted. Zhao Yin'er had a good impression of this amiable little old man. It's a good thing if we can get rid of it. Many villagers won't have to worry about being bullied by a dog. People like Old Man Chen, Zhao Wenhua was kind and enthusiastic. I'm going to cook. Were relatively rare. Zhao Yin'er turned and went into the kitchen. Zhao Yin'er entered Old Man Chen's house, added a torch to the stove while Zhao Yin'er enthusiastically brought over 2 cups of hot water. First, he poured a few spoonfuls of rapeseed oil into the wok. Old Lady Chen squinted her eyes and said with a smile, some ginger slices. Thank you, Auntie. And the snake meat. Thank you, Grandma Chen. Stir-fried it a few times. You're welcome, you're welcome. After the snake meat was stir-fried until it was fragrant, and Old Lady Chen were very nice. Spoonfuls of water. She thought that if the two of them could be like this, Liang Jinxiao watched the fire from below to settle the matter of the land prepared other dishes. Initially, in addition to had some worries in his heart, there were also a few stir-fried dishes. He was mostly relieved. There were many dishes in her small vegetable garden that could be eaten. What do you want to discuss today? Zhao Yin'er cut the vegetables and put them on a plate. Then I'll be frank with you. Zhao Wenhua had already planning to build a big house and loaches, so we need a bigger piece of land. He sent them to the kitchen and handed them to Zhao Yin'er. The land bought in the village is not big enough. Zhao Wenhua said with a smile. An ordinary house. After cleaning up the rice field eels and loaches, Zhao Wenhua's hands were stained with a piece of land right next to your old house. He quickly got some locusts, if you buy your old house and tear it down later, wash them with water, you will be able to make a larger piece of land. Fragrance continued to work drifted out into hot water. The people in Zhao Yin'er and Zhao Wenhua went to work on the foundation of the house. They didn't expect Zhao Wenhua led Zhao Yin'er more fragrant than the chicken soup. Old Chen's house grew old 5 or 6 years ago. And we can definitely give it. They could only smell it. Zhao Wenhua was elated for the old man stare at it so readily. Liang Jinxiao sat in the kitchen. Once the land was acquired, the son probably wouldn't really fragrant to get married. You really know how to make how much do you want. It was also difficult for poor families to get married. That's easy to discuss. Got it, Yin'er. Wenhua, snake soup was stewing according to the village's normal price. While Zhao Yin'er began to stir-fry vegetables in the other pot. Chen, the vegetables normal price stir-fried. 2 taels of silver. Finally, I'll give you an additional 200 copper coins. Loaches and rice field eels were cooked a big favor by being willing to pay. Loaches were stir-fried directly. She added some oil, salt, cooking wine, ginger, garlic, and raw soy sauce. I'll send you the money later. After a while, a fragrant aroma was stir-fried. It was mainly because there was enough oil and I'm in a hurry to buy it that it could be made that if I don't hurry up, fragrance, I won't be able to buy it later. Circumstances, Zhao Wenhua, the villagers would boil it with some water. Laughed when he heard naturally, that. It would not be very fragrant. It's after not a stir-frying loaches, Zhao Yin'er rinsed the pot was also happy and continued to stir-fry rice field eels. This old mansion is too easy to talk to. She didn't know if it was because there were so many rice fields in the village, and stir-fried it in the pot for a while. That there weren't several dishes were out of the pot. Suddenly meeting people like Old Man Chen and Old Woman Chen. Mother, we can eat now. She actually found it hard to adapt for a moment. Good. It
Looking
seems
at
that she
today's
also has
dishes,
the physique of
they
a
are even
masochist.
better than Chinese
The
New
conversation between
Liang
Zhao Wenhua
Jinxiao sighed.
and old man
Zhao
Chen
Yun'er
was
smiled
heard
and
by a
said,
woman outside
"As
the
long
door.
as our family works
This woman
hard
was
together,
old man Chen's
we can
wife,
celebrate
Zhang
Chinese
Chui'er.
New Year's."
Zhang
and
Chui'er
eat
jumped
good food
into
every
old man
day.
Chen's house and
Haha,
said, Liang Jinxiao
"No, this
laughed
land
happily.
can't be sold."
She was looking
The few
forward to
people
the
who were
future.
sitting in the house
Would she be able to
and
live such a
discussing
good
this
life
matter
like this?
couldn't help but be
Mother,
stunned.
go and
They
call
didn't
father and the
expect
others
that someone
to eat.
would suddenly come
Yes,
out
yes.
and cause
Liang
trouble.
Jinxiao responded,
"Why can't you
Zhao
sell
Yun'er
it?
took out a big
Didn't
bowl
you say that you
and
will sell it
scooped
to
out more than
Wenhua?"
half of the snake
Old
soup
man
in the
Chen
pot.
said to Zhang
There was
Chui'er in
so
a good
much
mood.
that the family
Zhao
probably
Yun'er
could
noticed
not
that in
finish
front
it
of
in
Zhang
one meal.
Chui'er.
Old
Yun
man Chen's
wanted
attitude
to
was
give
much
some to
more humble.
Mulan after eating.
In this kind of normal
so that she
family,
could also
the
taste the
parents-in-law
snake soup.
basically made
The people of the
decisions.
third branch entered
After
the
all,
room
the elders
and
were the
began
most
to eat
important
lunch around the table.
However, in old
Qin
man
Yuan
Chen's
had
house,
already changed
it wasn't
his
like
pants
this.
and put on
The
Zhao
reason why
Tian's
this
clean
situation
pants.
happened was
Air
because
presumptive,
Chen
please
Wangfu
sit.
was a cripple.
Zhao Wenhua
Chen
greeted.
Wangfu felt that it
"Uncle,
was
you are
already
an
not
elder.
easy for
Please
him to
sit."
marry a
Mu
daughter-in-law.
Lianfeng declined.
If they didn't give in to Zhang
No, you are the
Chui'er,
crown prince.
and this daughter-in-law
Uncle,
ran
you're
away,
Yun'er's father.
what would happen to
Seeing
Chen
the
Wangfu?
two of them refusing,
It was precisely
Zhao Yun'er
because
couldn't
old
help
man
but
Chen
laugh.
and old woman
"All
Chen
right,
were
the
used
two
to
of you don't
giving
have
in.
to refuse."
And Chen Wangfu
"Father,
was similar to
young
his
Master
parents.
Shitzi is
That
young
Zhang
Master
Chui'er
Shitzi
raised
in
her
front
to
of
be the
others,
most important
but not
person
in front of
old
you.
man Chen's
You'd
house.
better sit.
Big sister,
After
can
Zhao
you tell
Yun'er
us
said
why
that,
this land can't
Zhao
be
Wenhua
sold?
sat down in
Toward Zhang
embarrassment.
Chui'er's attitude,
The ancient people
Zhao
were
Wenhua
very
didn't
clear
argue
about
with
this
Zhang
distinction
Chui'er
at first,
Zhao
but
Yun'er
instead
felt that it
asked
was too
nicely.
rigid.
Zhao
Especially
Chui'er
if they were
snorted
a
lightly
family.
and said,
There was no
"That's
need
because
to
the
be so
price you offered
particular.
is too low."
Qin Yuan
Then
was
big
depressed
sister,
at first.
"How much do you
but
want?
when he saw so
We
much
can
delicious
negotiate
food
the
on the
price,
table,
can't we?"
he
Zhao
immediately
Wenhua
became
still
excited.
spoke in a negotiating
Without waiting
tone.
for Zhao
Zhao
Yun'er's
Yun'er
family to
squinted her
serve her,
eyes and sized
she
Zhang
picked up her
Chui'er.
chopsticks
They were
and
about
began
to
to
reach
eat.
an agreement.
The other members of the
someone
third
suddenly
branch
jumped
didn't
out to
feel
oppose
anything.
it. It
But
would be
Zhao
a lie
Yun'er
to
felt
say that
very
they weren't
uncomfortable
angry
in her heart.
However, Zhao
This
Yun'er
Qin
was
Yuan
calm.
was a little too
She
much.
wanted to know what kind of
He
trick
really
Zhang
thought of
Chui'er
himself
wanted
as
to
a
play.
member of the third
She then
branch.
said, "And
The
didn't
price
know how
that my
to be a
father
little more
offered is
reserved.
too low to buy
This
the land
snake
to
soup
buy
is
to
so
buy to
fragrant."
buy to sell to
Zhao Ping'er
Zhao.
sighed. And
Although
Zhao Wenhua
snakes
old
look
Zhao.
scary,
The meat
and
was
Wenhua,
indeed delicious. She to make
Zhao
sure that
Ping'er
Zhao have
hurriedly
money
scooped
to
to
bowl
buy
and drink it.
to make to buy
Tisk tsk.
Teat teat
It's
make
so
use of
delicious.
teat.
Zhao Yun'er,
Hearing the
how do
price
you know
of
so
15
much?
taels of silver,
You even know that
the few
snakes
people
can
in
be
the room
eaten.
gasped.
Zhao Yun'er didn't know if Zhao Ping
15 taels
or
of
was
silver
praising her or
was
not.
enough to buy 7
Don't
or
think
8
that
pieces
others
of
don't
land,
know if you don't know.
let alone a piece of
Zhao
land.
Yun'er replied
No
faintly.
one could accept the
All right,
sudden
Zhao
increase in
Yun'er,
price.
you win this time.
Zhao Wenhua
It's so
knew
delicious.
that the money in Zhao Yun'er's
As Zhao
hands
Ping'er
didn't
spoke,
grow on trees.
she buried her head and
she
ate
shouldn't
again.
spend her money
She
like
directly
this.
scooped the
This
snake meat into
big
her
sister.
bowl. Are you kidding? Yeah, Chui'er,
Chapter
15 taels
6:15.
is too expensive.
Big brother Yuan,
We're
come
all
you
from
eat
the same
too.
hometown.
As Zhao
There's
Ping'er
no need
spoke,
to be so.
she scooped
Old
out a
man
lot
Chen
of
couldn't
snake
help
meat
but
from the
say,
bowl
and prepared to put it into Qin Yuan's bowl.
Chapter
Qin
6:20.
Yuan was so frightened
After
that
Father
he quickly
Chen was
moved
scolded,
the bowl away.
he
and
shut
said
his
to
mouth
Zhao
and
Ping,
didn't dare to speak.
I'm
He
not
looked at
eating.
Zhao Wenhua
Thinking
guiltily
about
and
how the
helplessly.
snake coiled around
Zhao
his
Wenhua
leg
sighed
and
in
bit
his heart.
his butt.
Of course,
Qin
he
Yuan's
wouldn't
body
blame
trembled.
Father Chen for this.
Snakes had already
At the
left
same
a shadow
time,
in his
he
heart.
sympathized
How
with
could
Father
he still
Chen.
eat it?
It was a
Zhao
disaster
Ping'er was
to
stunned
have
and
such a
persuaded.
daughter-in-law in the
Big
family.
brother Yuan, try
Sister,
it.
the price
It's
of
really
your land
delicious.
is too high.
You'll
There
regret
isn't
it if
any
you don't
land
eat
in
it.
the entire village
And no need.
that is this expensive.
Zhao Ping'er, quickly take
Buy
it
it or
away.
not.
I'm not
If you
eating
don't want
it.
to sell it,
There are
then
other
forget
dishes
it.
on the table
Zhang
that are also
Chui'er,
delicious.
or put her hands on
These
her
are
waist.
enough for me. Zhang Chui'er was
Ping,
sure that Zhao
or
Wenhua
hesitated
and
for a
Father
while
Chen
and
would buy
sighed.
it. So she
All right
shouted
then,
a higher price.
Big brother Yuan.
This, forget it
Zhao
if you don't
Wenhua
want to
frowned.
eat it. He was
I'll
in a
eat it.
dilemma. As
If
Zhao
he didn't
Ping'er
buy this
spoke,
piece of
she
land,
put the snake
it
meat
would be
into her bowl
difficult
to find a bigger
Seeing the
piece
fear
of
in
land.
Qin Yuan's
Your
eyes,
family doesn't
Zhao
lack
Yun'er
money.
snorted softly.
Don't tell me you
So
can't
what if
even
he's a
afford
coward?
15 taels
He
of
doesn't
silver?
even dare to eat snake
Zhang
meat.
Chui'er snorted.
started.
Who knows what to
Zhao
do
Wenhua
with such
looked
a
at
coward
Zhao
in
Yin
the future
and asked for Zhao
Big
Yin'er's
sister
opinion.
Ping father,
He couldn't afford
mother,
to buy a
and
piece
everyone
of
else
land
haven't
with
eaten
15
yet.
taels of silver.
You're eating so much
the corner of
snake meat
Zhao
alone.
Yin'er's mouth
Are you
hooked up.
still going to let
She
others
had almost
eat it?
figured out
Zhao
Zhang
Yin'er
Chui's
said with
thoughts.
some dissatisfaction.
Father, forget it. You're
Let's
blaming
not
me
buy
for
it.
not eating.
Let's look for
Zhao
another
Ping
piece of
pursed
land.
her lips and
If
said,
we can't find one,
everyone
we
hasn't
can build
started
a
eating
smaller
yet.
house.
Only the two
Zhao
of you
Wenhua
are
nodded.
eating happily
All
at
right,
the table.
Yin'er. Let's look
Zhao
for another
Yin'er was
piece of
talking
land.
about Qin Yuan
Okay.
and Zhao Ping'er.
The father and
Qin
daughter
Yuan
stood
wasn't
up
a fool
and prepared to go
He
back.
naturally knew that
Zhang
Zhao
Chui'er
Yin'er
was
was talking
anxious.
about him.
You
He
really
coughed
don't
a little
want to buy
awkwardly
it?
and said,
Where can we find a bigger piece of land in the
Big
village?
brother Yuan,
If you
don't
want
listen
it,
to her.
I can sell it
You
to you
eat.
for 10 taels
It's
of
fine.
silver.
Yin'er
Zhang
let him
Chui
eat. Or
he
wanted
must
to
be
extort
hungry.
a sum of money
Liang
from them.
Jinxiao saw
But
that
she
Qin
scared them
Yuan was
away.
embarrassed
She
and
wouldn't
tried
be
to
able to
persuade
get any
him.
money. Zhao Yin'er,
Sister,
did you hear that?
10 taels of
You
silver
only know
is
how
still
to
too
be expensive.
expensive. I'll
The
look for
corners of
another
Zhao
piece of
Yin'er's
land.
mouth twitched.
Zhao
This
Wenhua
Zhao
refused
Ping'er
directly.
hadn't married into
I've
the
already
Qin
given
family
you 10
yet,
taels of silver.
but she was already
Why are you
protecting
still
the
like
Qin
this?
Yuan.
Father,
After
let's
the
go.
family had
Don't
lunch
talk
together,
anymore.
There was still
Zhao
half
Yun'er
of the
said.
snake soup left
Okay,
in the
Uncle
pot.
Chun.
Zhao
Wenhua
Wenhua brought a
first.
bowl to Zhao
Zhao Wenhua
Baoshan's
said.
room.
After
After
all,
all, and Zhao
his
Yunlong
father
had
was
not
still
gone far when they
recuperating in
heard
bed.
Zhang Cui.
It wouldn't make
or
sense
scolding
if
old
he didn't
man
give her
Chen
some
from
nourishing
Chen
food.
house.
After
The
staying in
content of the
Qin
scolding
Yuan for a
was very
while,
unpleasant.
he got up and said
Zhao
goodbye.
Yunlong shook his
Before
head
leaving,
secretly.
Qin
He
Yuan
felt
hesitated
that he had
for a
caused
moment
trouble
and
for
said
Father
to Zhao
Chen this
Wenhua
time.
and Liang
He felt a
Jinxiao.
little apologetic.
Uncle,
Auntie,
Zhao Yunlong
I actually
sighed and
came
said,
here for something.
Yun'er,
Are
you
we
child,
really not
if
going
you
to
have
buy
something
old
to
man
say,
Chen's
just
land?
say it.
I don't
There's
think we
nothing
can
to
find
be
a large
embarrassed
plot
about.
of land.
Qin
Should
Yuan
we build a
hesitated
smaller
for a
house?
moment and said,
Father,
Uncle,
we
Auntie,
definitely have to
I
build a
actually
bigger
came here
house.
to borrow some money.
But let's look for
My
a piece
brother's
of land
illness
first
acted
and
up
think
again,
of a way.
and he needs
if we
to
can
take
get it
medicine.
from old man Chen
But
at
my
a normal
family
price,
doesn't have money.
then we'll buy it.
Zhao Wenhua
But if
and
the
Liang
price is too
Jinxiao
high,
had heard from
we can't take
matchmaker Gao
advantage
that
of
their
it,
family
right?
Qin had a
Zhao
son.
Yun'er replied.
However,
Although she didn't lack
he was
money,
a fool and had
Zhang
a problem with
Chui'er's
his
behavior
intelligence.
made her feel
They
disgusted.
didn't expect that this fool's illness would act
as
up
long
again,
as she was
and he
tricked
needed
once
to take
and the news
medicine.
spread.
Father,
The people
mother,
in the village would
Big
follow
brother
her
Yuan will
example
be my husband
and take
in the
advantage
future.
of her
We
family.
will be a family.
She wasn't
Please
stupid
lend
enough
him
to
some
do
money.
something like that.
Zhao Ping'er pleaded.
Okay.
Originally,
Let's think of something.
Zhao Wenhua and
Zhao
Liang
Wenhua
Jinxiao
nodded,
were already
although they
embarrassed
delayed
to
the
refuse.
construction of the house.
Now that Zhao
He
Ping'er
couldn't
said
wait to
this,
build the house.
they were even more
On the way
embarrassed.
back,
Zhao
Qin
Yun'er
Yuan,
passed by Ma Xiaofeng's
how much do you want to
house.
borrow this
She
time?
saw Zhao Tian
Uncle
busying
Auntie,
himself in
my
Ma
parents want
Xiaofeng's
me to
garden.
borrow 2
He
taels
was
of
very
silver this
attentive.
time.
My brother's medical expenses are so high. When
Chapter
they heard Qin Yuan say 2 taels
Ma
of silver,
Xiaofeng's family
Zhao
only had
Wenhua
2
and
women
Liang
and 1
Jinxiao
child.
were still in a
So Ma
dilemma.
Xiaofeng had
After
to help
all,
out with the chores
2
in the
taels of
fields.
silver was not a
Zhao
small
Yun'er
amount.
found that Zhao
If it was a
Tianan
few
was
hundred
helping
copper
out,
coins,
and
then
Ma
forget it.
Xiaofeng was holding a bowl.
She didn't know what she
Chapter
was eating.
16.
However,
Liang Jinxiao
there was a
did a
faintly
quick
discernible
calculation.
aroma of snake
Zhao
soup
Yun'er
in the
only
air.
gave her a little
Zhao
more than
Yun'er
1
frowned.
tael of silver
Could
in
it
total.
be that her younger
Qin
brother
Yuan
sent
asked
snake
for
soup
2
to Ma
taels of silver
Xiaofeng
right
for her
away.
to eat?
She really
Tianan
couldn't afford it.
Zhao Yun'er
The
greeted
Qin
Zhao
family,
Tianan.
on the other
Zhao
hand,
Tianan turned
thought
around
that 2 taels
and
of
was
silver
stunned
was
when he
very
saw
easy
Zhao
for
Yun'er
Zhao
and Zhao
Wenhua
Wenhua
and Liang
second
Jinxiao.
sister.
Why
Zhao
are you
Yun'er
here?
made a lot of money.
I'm just passing
so her
by.
parents should have
Zhao
at
Yun'er
least 2
smiled,
taels of silver.
then walked towards Ma
Seeing that
Xiaofeng
Zhao
and Zhao
Wenhua
Tianan.
and Liang
Seeing
Jinxiao
Zhao
suddenly
Yun'er coming
stopped
over,
talking,
Ma
Qin Yuan
Xiaofeng was
thought
a
that
little
they were
flustered.
unwilling to lend
She
the money.
couldn't help but hide the bowl behind her
Aunt,
back.
we don't have any
as
other
if she was
choice.
afraid of being
If we
seen
could
by
find
Zhao
someone
Yun'er.
else to lend
As
the
the
money,
fragrance
we
became
wouldn't
stronger,
come here and ask for
Zhao
it.
Yun'er was even
Qin
more
Yuan
certain
seemed
that
a
Ma
little
Xiaofeng
helpless.
was eating snake
Zhao Ping'er
soup.
suddenly became
Sister
anxious.
Yun,
She was
Ma
afraid
Xiaofeng
that if
saw
her
Zhao
parents
Yun
didn't lend the
and called
money,
out sweetly,
Qin Yuan would
but the
be
smile on
unhappy,
her face was
and
a little
Qin
forced.
Yuan wouldn't marry her
Zhao
in the
Yun'er
end.
just responded faintly.
Father, mother,
then
it's
asked
just
with
2
a smile.
taels of silver.
Sister
You can lend
Xiaofeng,
it to
what are
brother
you
Yuan.
eating? Why
Zhao
are you
Wenhua
hiding
and
behind
Liang
her?
Jinxiao both said
Hearing
to
Zhao
Zhao Yun'er's
Yun'er a little
question.
awkwardly,
Ma
Xiaofeng
Xiaofeng
suddenly felt
it's
guilty
not that we don't want
and
to
looked
lend
at
it
Zhao
to you,
Tianan for help.
but we don't have
Zhao
2
Tianan
taels of
hurriedly
silver.
explained,
We only have a
Sister,
little more than 1
Xiaofeng
tael of
hasn't
silver in
tasted
total.
snake soup before.
How can we lend it
I
to
saw
you?
that there was snake
Father,
soup
mother,
in the pot at home.
you don't have the
So
money.
I scooped
But
some for
Sister
Xiaofeng.
Yun'er has it.
Sister,
Why don't you just
you won't
ask
blame
Sister
me, right?
Yun'er for it? Since he had
Zhao
already
Ping'er's
sent it
eyes
over.
moved.
What else
And she
could
said
she
to
say?
Zhao Wenhua
She
and
just
Liang
felt a little
Jinxiao.
uncomfortable
Zhao
in her
Yun'er
heart.
happened to hear
Zhao
their
Yun'er knew
conversation
that Zhao
when she
Tianan
just
didn't
entered the
send it
house
for no reason.
She left for a
Ma
while just
Xiaofeng
now to
probably
send the
took the
snake
initiative
soup to
to ask
Mulan.
for it.
As soon
The
as she
truth
came
was
back,
similar to Zhao
she saw
Yun'er's
several
guess.
people talking
In the
about
morning,
money.
Zhao
What do you
Tianan
want from
sent the
me?
loach over and
Zhao
mentioned
Yun'er
the
raised
black
her
snake
eyebrows
to
and
Ma
asked.
Xiaofeng.
Her
Ma
premonition
Xiaofeng
told
told
her
her
that it was
mentioned
nothing
that if
good.
it was delicious,
Liang Jinxiao
she would
then
like to
explained
try
the
it
matter
too.
to Zhao Yun'er.
After all,
Zhao
she had
Yun'er's
never
eyes
eaten
couldn't
it
help
before.
but fall on
Zhao
Qin Yuan's
Tianan
body.
wrote it down.
She
and
looked at
secretly
Qin
sent
Yuan's
some
eyes
over in the
and sized him
afternoon.
up.
If Zhao
Interesting.
Yun'er knew the
He actually
situation,
came to borrow
she
money,
would probably
and
side
it was
with
2
emotion.
taels of silver.
This man
He
forgot
really
his
dared
mother
to
when
ask
he had
for
a
an
wife,
exorbitant price.
and her brother also
Zhao Yun'er
forgot
didn't didn't know what the family
had a
Qin
wife.
wanted to do by
Eat it if you
borrowing
want.
money. But
Was
why
it
are you
really
hiding
for an
it, Sister
emergency?
Xiaofeng?
Or was it
Are
just
you
to
afraid
take
that I will
advantage
see
of
it?
her family?
Ma
Zhao
Xiaofeng
Yuner
blushed.
still felt that
I
it
thought
shouldn't be
Sister
done if
Yuner
it was
would be
an
unhappy
emergency.
if you saw it.
They weren't in-laws.
My brother
but
gave
they
it
were
to
already
you.
like this.
You didn't take the
If they
initiative
became
to ask
in-laws
for
in
it.
the future,
If I want to
wouldn't
blame
they eat up
someone,
their
it should
family
be my
until
brother.
there was nothing left?
Zhao Yuner
Being
said as if
stared
she
at
was
by
joking.
Zhao Yuner,
Ma
Qin
Xiaofeng
Yuan
blushed
felt
even
a little
more.
guilty.
She
and
felt
didn't
that she
dare
was
to
seen
look it
through
through
by
by
Zhao
Zhao
Yuner.
He seemed to know
Second
that this
sister,
request of
if you
his
don't
was
have
too
anything
much.
else,
Zhao
you can go
Ping'er
back.
asked loudly,
What's
Zhao
wrong?
Yuner,
Do you think
why
your
aren't you
second
saying
sister
anything?
is in the way?
Are you going to
Zhao
lend money
Tianan's
to Brother
face blushed
Yuan or
even
not?
more.
You've
Zhao
earned a
Yuner
lot
sighed
during
and
this
said to
period.
Zhao Tianan,
You can't be
all right
stingy
then,
with such a
second
small amount
sister
of
will
money.
go back first.
After all, he's your future brother-in-law.
If you are done with your
Zhao
work,
Yuner
come back
sneered.
early.
This Zhao
Got it,
Ping'er was
second
really
sister.
a professional
Looking
helping
at Zhao
outsiders
Yuner's
to
back,
take advantage
Ma
of her
Xiaofeng's
family.
eyes revealed a trace
Sister
of
Ping'er,
hatred.
it's easy for you to
Xiaofeng,
say.
Don't
What
take
do you
my
mean by
second
such a
sister's
small
words
amount
to
of
heart.
money?
Two
Zhao
taels of
Tianan
silver
saw that
isn't
Ma
a small
Xiaofeng
amount.
was unhappy
You
and
can ask
comforted
others
her.
if they can take it out
Tianan,
immediately.
does your second sister
Others
not like
can't,
me?
but you can.
Ma Xiaofeng
You have
looked
money
at
in your
Zhao
hands.
Tianan pitifully.
Do you still care about 2 taels of silver? I think you're just stingy
Chapter
and don't want to lend
622.
it. Tianan,
Zhao Pinger
what if your
criticized
second
angrily.
elder sister
Sister
disapproves of
Pinger,
us being
after
together
all,
in the future?
I worked hard to earn
no,
the money.
Xiaofeng, you're so
Two
nice.
taels of silver
My
is enough
second
for me
elder
to wake
sister
up
won't
early
disagree.
and sleep late for
I mean,
a while.
Why do you make it sound like it's
Xiaofeng,
picked up?
no matter who
Zhao
disagrees,
Yun'er's voice became
as
colder.
long as I want to be with you, no matter what others say, it's
Chapter
useless.
617.
After saying that,
moreover,
Zhao
after they
Tianan
borrowed
borrowed
the
his
money,
head. He
not
didn't
only
dare
would they
to
not
look into
feel
Ma
grateful,
Xiaofeng's eyes,
but they would also
Tianan,
continue
you're
to
so
borrow
nice.
from them.
If this
When
happened
Zhao
once,
Yun'er got
there would
home,
be a
she
second
cleaned
time.
up the house.
It was just
because
that
it
Zhao
had been
Ping
raining for a
was
while.
too stupid to see
There was
this.
a moldy smell
Qin
on the
Yuan's
clothes
face
and clothes in the house.
If that's the case,
unfortunately,
I
the
won't
sun
force
wasn't
you if you
out
don't
yet.
want to lend it to
Otherwise,
me.
the moldy
One could
things
hear
in
that
the
there
house
was a
would
trace
have
of
to be
anger
taken
in
out to
Qin
dry.
Yuan's tone.
When the weather
Zhao
cleared
Ping,
up, or was
she
even
still
more
had
anxious,
to go to the town to
Zhao
set up a
Yan,
stall
or
to
are
sell
you going
breakfast.
to lend it to me or not?
After resting
Dad,
for such a
Mom,
long
please say
time,
something.
she didn't know
Zhao
whether
Ping,
the business
or
would
looked
be
at
affected
Zhao Wenhua
if
and
she
Liang
went to set up
Jinxiao
a
for
stall
help.
again.
Zhao
When it was
Wenhua
close
and
to
Liang
evening,
Jinxiao's side,
Mu Lianfeng
they
came
felt that
back
if they
from the
didn't
paddy
lend the
field
money
with
to
dirty
them,
clothes,
their family
seeing
team would
Mu
feel bad
Lianfeng's
about
clothes,
it.
body,
Thus,
and head
they
were
began
all
to
stained with
persuade
mud.
them.
Zhao
Yun'er,
Yun'er
hurriedly
borrow
told
some
Mu
money.
Lianfeng to
This
take
is
a
also
shower
an
and change
emergency.
his clothes.
Zhao Yun'er
I'll
felt
boil
that her
some hot
parents
water.
were being too kind
Zhao
again.
Yun'er said,
I
it
can
was
lend
still
it to you.
cold, but
She
since
didn't know
it's
whether Mu
alone,
Lianfeng
there
would
should
catch
at
a
least
cold.
be a guarantee,
Mu Lianfeng
right?
smiled. I'll borrow two
Sure.
taels of silver.
Zhao Yun,
but
or
I
went
have
into
to
the
sign
kitchen,
an IOU
and soon
and
came
put my
out with a
fingerprint
pot of
on
hot
it.
water.
In fact,
Mu
I don't mean
Lianfeng had
anything
to
else.
exercise when
I
he
just
was
want to make
pumping water,
myself feel better,
so he didn't feel
If you
cold.
can accept this,
Once he
can
stopped,
take out
his
the
body
money
now.
shivered badly.
Zhao Yun'er smiled and
cold?
said to Qin Yuan.
Zhao Yun'er asked
Qin
with
Yuan's
concern.
face was a little pale.
It's fine.
Do you
Don't
mean
try
that
to
our
be
family
brave.
won't pay you
You're
back
shivering
in the
like
future?
this. Don't
How
worry.
can you say it's fine?
Our family won't go back on
Yun'er,
our
I have
word.
to save my
Why
face
do you have
in front
to sign
of
an
you.
IOU?
If I get too
Qin
cold,
Yuan wasn't
I'll be
very
too
willing
useless.
to sign an IOU.
It's nothing.
Zhao
Whose
Yun'er,
body is
what do
made
you
of
mean?
iron.
Brother
Isn't
Yuan
he afraid
also
of the
has
cold?
to sign an IOU
Zhao
just to
Yun'er
borrow
said,
money? And asked
Zhao
Mu
Yun'er
Lianfeng
smiled.
to take a shower.
I don't mean anything
After
else.
soaking his body,
I just want to
he
feel
would be
better.
warm.
Otherwise,
it was inconvenient
what if there's
that
always
they
a
didn't
what
build
if?
a big house.
Since we'll pay the
When
money
they were
back,
taking a shower,
signing an IOU
the
won't
other
be a
person
problem,
had to go out,
right?
They planned to have dinner
Qin
in the
Yuan
third
felt
room.
a little guilty.
After all,
To be
there
honest,
were a lot of
he didn't
leftovers
know if
from
his
lunch.
family would return the
Yun'er,
two
I'm
taels
done.
of silver.
Come in.
And he
After
wasn't
Mu
even sure
Lianfeng
if they
took
could
a
afford
shower,
it.
he opened the door.
After all,
There
his
was a
family
faint
team
smell
was
of
too
soap
poor.
inside.
He might not
Zhao
be able
Yun
to save
or
up
took
two
the wooden
taels of
basin
silver
and tidied
even
up
if he
Mu
saved up
Lianfeng
for
for several
clothes.
years.
She was about
This
to
time,
wash them when Mu
rather than
Lianfeng
saying
stopped
that
her.
he was here to borrow,
Yun, I'll do it.
it was more
You
like
don't
he
need
wanted
to do these
borrow
chores
and not
Zhao
return
Yun'er
it.
smiled.
After what Zhao
This is
Yun'er
the
did
first
to
time
him,
I've seen a man
he probably
who is so
wouldn't be able
diligent
to
in
avoid
doing
it in the
housework.
future.
I'll do
What
it.
should he do now?
You're tired today.
What's wrong?
It's all right.
Is
Yun'er,
my
you're
request
still
too
injured.
much? Zhao
Well,
Yun'er was a little
let's
helpless.
write an IOU as you
It's
said.
just the wound on
I'll
my
get the money
forehead.
first.
It's not a
I'll
problem.
think of a way to
It's
return the
almost
money
healed.
later.
That's still
All
an
right
injury.
then.
Zhao
Speaking
Yun'er
of the
took a
wound
piece
on
of
Zhao
paper
Yun'er's
and wrote a
forehead,
line of
Mu
words.
Lianfeng said,
She took it over.
Yun'er,
and
you
let
should
Qin
change the
Yuan
dressing.
stamp his fingerprint.
Let me change the dressing
Then,
for you.
She handed the two taels of silver
Zhao
to
Yun'er
Qin
had to
Yuan.
change the dressing
Qin
for the
Yuan took
wound
the
on her
money
head every
and
2
some
days.
things that Zhao Wenhua
Now that the
had given
wound was
him.
almost healed,
Looking at Qin
Zhao
Yuan's
Yun'er
back,
didn't think it was
Zhao Yun'er
necessary
was
to
thinking
change
whether
the
it was
dressing.
appropriate for
However,
Zhao Pinger
Mu
to marry
Lianfeng
Qin
didn't
Yuan.
slack off.
The more
She
she looked
insisted
at this
on
family
changing the
team,
dressing for
the
Zhao
more
Yun'er.
unreliable it seemed.
Well, okay.
She didn't
Zhao
want to
Yun'er
continue
nodded
to
and
be
sat
involved
in front
with
of the
this
bed.
family Qin
Mu
in the
Lianfeng
future.
took out a white bandage and ointment and began to change the dressing for Zhao Yun'er.
Looking at the wound on Zhao Yun'er's forehead, Mu Lianfeng frowned. What's wrong? Zhao Yun'er asked. Chapter 623. Zhao Yun'er's heart skipped a beat when she heard that it would leave a scar. All girls cared about their appearance and Zhao Yun'er was the same. No way. She didn't think it was serious, but she didn't expect it to leave a scar. Alas, Mu Lianfeng sighed again. He had studied it for the past few days, and the probability of it leaving a scar was very high. Yun'er, don't worry. There is a very famous doctor in Yang City. He will definitely be able to cure the scar on your forehead. Go to Yang City later and ask for the medicine
medicine to remove the scar. Zhao Yun'er nodded and replied, "That's good." If it really left a scar, there was nothing she could do. After changing the medicine, Zhao Yun'er and Mu Lianfeng went to the third branch. There was still some food left for lunch, so they poured it into the pot and heated it up. They also added some vegetables and loaches. The whole family had a good meal together. Just after lunch, there was another noise in the yard. Zhao Wenshui was crying miserably. They didn't know what had happened. Zhao Yun'er went out of the third branch's room with the intention of watching the drama. The other members of old Zhao's family also came out to watch. Zhao Wenshui supported Zhao Wenshui. Zhao Wenshui's ankle was bitten by something, and it was bleeding. It seemed to be quite serious. Ouch, ouch, Zhao Wenshui screamed. He was in so much pain that he almost cried. Li Chuiying immediately ran over and asked, Tianyu's father, what happened to you? Ai second sister-in-law, second brother was bitten by a snake. I thought this snake wasn't powerful. I didn't expect it to make people bleed. As Zhao Wenshu spoke, he took out a snake from the basket and threw it on the ground. Old Zhao's people were originally afraid and almost screamed. Then they found that the snake on the ground was dead and did not move. In addition, Zhao Yin'er brought back a snake today. Not only was it fine, but it was also edible. The fragrance of the snake's soup made them greedy so much that they were no longer afraid. Li Chuiying shouted, Tianyu's father, how could you be so careless and get bitten by a snake? You should run away when you see a snake. I didn't run away. I chased it when I saw it. Why did you chase the snake? If you don't provoke it, it won't bite you, right? Li Chuiying sighed. Zhao Wenshui curled his lips. The snake that Yin'er caught this afternoon is edible. This snake looks similar, so I wanted to catch it and let everyone have a taste of snake soup tonight. Zhao Wenshui said. He forgot his pain and swallowed his saliva. When he thought of the smell of snake soup in the kitchen of the third branch, his stomach began to rumble. Li Chuiying looked at the snake on the ground. It did look similar. When Hua Chunhua heard this, she immediately praised Zhao Wenshui. Second brother is so considerate and capable. We can also have a good meal of snake soup tonight. Mother, that's right. I got hurt so that our family can have good food. My feet hurt. Zhao Wenshui complained pitifully. He looked at his feet and saw that there was a big swollen bump. Then you should have a good rest these 2 days. Don't work in the field. Eldest brother can do it alone. Hua Chunhua comforted him. Chapter 624. What should we do? Look, your second brother's leg is injured and he can't move. If you don't go, there will be no one at home. Hua Chunhua nagged. Zhao Wenshu puffed up his cheeks and looked reluctant. If he had known, he would have let the snake bite him a few times. That way, he could lie in bed and rest for a few days. Ah, Tianyu's father, why is your leg so swollen? Li Chuiying pointed at Zhao Wenshui's leg. Yeah, it wasn't this big just now, and it's getting more and more painful. Zhao Wenshui curled his lips and looked worried. Is he poisoned? Li Chuiying guessed. Poisoned? As soon as he heard this word, Zhao Wenshui immediately panicked. If he was poisoned, would he still be alive? Otherwise, why is it so swollen? Wah, Zhao Wenshui was frightened. What should I do? Hurry up and call Dr. Sun over for me. I don't want to die. Zhao Wenshui's cries were so miserable that the rest of old Zhao's family started to worry. Didn't you say that it's not poisonous? Second brother, so this snake can't be eaten? Zhao Xinhui pointed at the snake on the ground and looked very disappointed. The snake that Zhao Yin'er caught today was not poisonous, so it could be eaten. How could a poisonous snake be eaten? Although he wanted to eat it, he didn't want to lose his life. I guess it can't be eaten. Hua Chunhua sighed. Zhao Wenshui continued to cry. Mother, can you not say that it can't be eaten? What should I do with my leg? Am I going to die soon? Mother, if I die, you'll be sending your child away, sob, sob, sob. Only then did Hua Chunhua realize that Zhao Wenshui might have been poisoned. She ordered Zhao Wenshu. Boss, hurry up and call Dr. Sun over. Mother, I don't want to die. I'm so young. What if I die? Zhao Wenshui cried like a child. Hua Chunhua looked at her son and could only sigh. Didn't I call the doctor for you? Why are you still crying? Mother, I'm scared. Whoa. Li Chuiying also began to cry. Tianyu's father, you have to hold on. Tianyu is still young. He can't do without you. Dad, nothing can happen to you. Zhao Jing'er looked at her cheap dad and wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes with a handkerchief. Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao frowned. They were worried about Zhao Wenshui. For a moment, there was a burst of crying in the courtyard of old Zhao's house. Zhao Yin'er was really upset when she heard it. She had a better understanding of these weirdos in old Zhao's family. Don't cry. It's not a big deal. It's just a water snake. Is there a need to call a doctor? Everyone is making a fuss. Zhao Yin'er said to the people in the courtyard. Zhao Wenshui immediately stopped crying when he heard it. He looked at Zhao Yin-er and asked, Yin-er, you said it's okay. Is it really okay? This snake is not poisonous? It's poisonous, but it's not very toxic. There's no need to treat it. It will be fine in 2 days. Zhao Wenshui believed Zhao Yin'er's words. During this period of time, they had seen Zhao Yin'er's ability and knew much more than they did. Since Zhao Yin'er said it was okay, it must be okay. Zhao Wenshui breathed a sigh of relief. That's good. That's good. I feel that my foot doesn't hurt as much. Zhao Yin'er saw that her second uncle was also a coward. He was more afraid of death than anyone else. Chapter 625. He was lucky this time because it was a water snake. If it was a venomous snake, he would have been dead by now. Can this snake still be eaten? Zhao Wenshui pointed at the snake on the ground. Of course you can't eat a venomous snake. What Chunhua said. Alas! Zhao Wenshui felt it was a pity. He finally killed one, but it was all in vain. Zhao Wenshui was even bitten by the snake. Why do you keep it in the yard if it's not edible? Throw it away. Zhao Xinhui urged. Looking at the dead snake lying on the ground, his heart was numb. Give it to me. Zhao Yin'er said. These people really didn't know anything. In fact, not only black snakes could be eaten, but many other snakes could be eaten as long as they were well prepared. Water snakes and black snakes tasted the same. They tasted very good. Yin'er, what are you doing? Is it edible? Thinking of this, Zhao Wenshui asked in a hurry. If it was edible, he definitely wouldn't give it to Zhao Yin'er. He had to keep it for himself. Zhao Yin'er smiled and said, Uncle, if you're not afraid of being poisoned, you can try cooking it. Zhao Wenshui looked at Zhao Wenshui's swollen feet and didn't dare to try. Well, forget it. Yin'er, you can have it. Zhao Yin'er smiled. Since Uncle said so, then don't regret giving it to me. Saying that, Zhao Yin'er calmly picked up the water snake on the ground. It was another delicious meal. Zhao Yin'er felt she had earned a lot. However, Zhao Yin'er was afraid that old Zhao's family would find out that she had made snake soup and come back with an excuse to ask for it. She directly took it to her house and cooked it instead of the third branch's house. In the next 2 days, the weather gradually cleared up. Seeing the sun coming out, Zhao Yin'er quickly took out the quilts in the house and dried them to get rid of the moldy smell. It seemed that it was time to open a breakfast stall in Yang City. The sooner she opened, the sooner she could make money. Her goal was very clear now. She wanted to save more money so that she could open a big restaurant in the future. That way she could make more money. Zhao Yin'er didn't know when she had become so unscrupulous. Thinking about it again, it was always good to have a goal, even if it was related to money. At least it could motivate her to work hard. Mom, Big Gray is here. As soon as Douda saw Big Gray, he was so scared that he quickly ran over. When he reached Zhao Yin'er, he was already traumatized by Big Gray. Douda held Little Black in his arms, afraid that Big Gray would bully Little Black again. After all, Little Black's injuries had not healed easily. If it was bitten by Big Gray again, he didn't know if Little Black would be able to survive this time. Zhao Yin'er shielded Douda behind her and comforted him. Douda, don't be afraid. Mom is here. The reason this beast was still here was because Mu Yinfeng had gone to the mountains again after the rain stopped and was busy with mining. As for this big dog, he didn't have time to deal with it. He didn't expect that after letting it jump around for a few more days, it would start to cause trouble again. Big Gray stared at Little Black in Douda's arms and barked a few times. It bared its fangs and looked very fierce. Looking at Big Gray's posture, it seemed that it could bite at any time. Zhao Yin'er couldn't help but frown. This damn dog. Chapter 626. With her small body, dealing with a big dog, and a really big dog at that, she couldn't help but feel a little strained. Zhao Yin'er was worried that Big Gray would bite Doudu when it rushed over. Woof woof woof. Big Gray continued to bark, its fangs shining with cold light. Zhao Yin'er held a wooden stick in her hand and was ready. Once Big Gray rushed up, she could only fight with Big Gray. She only hoped that the damn dog would hurt her and not Doudu. Mom. Lil P's voice was trembling because of fear. She was worried about them, and she seemed to know how dangerous Big Gray was. Dowdu, don't be afraid. Mom is here. I won't let it bully us. Mom, you have to be careful. Don't worry. Mom will protect Dowdu. Big Gray's eyes became a little fierce, and it slowly approached Zhao Yun. Just as Big Gray jumped and was about to rush to Zhao Yun'er's body, a stone flew out of nowhere and hit Big Gray's body. Then they heard a miserable dog's cry. There was a bloody hole in Big Gray's body. It quickly tucked its tail and turned around to run away. Zhao Yun'er was stunned by the sudden change. What was going on? It seemed that someone deliberately threw a stone, but Zhao Yun'er looked around and didn't see anyone. She didn't know where the stone came from. It's really strange. Mom, Big Gray was beaten away. Dowda said excitedly. Zhao Yun'er nodded. Yeah, it's fine now. Okay. Zhao Yun'er patted Dowdu. Okay, let's go inside. Looking at Dowda's little face, she knew that he was scared. After all, he was just a child and Big Gray was so scary. Okay, Mom. Before entering the house, Zhao Yun'er continued to look outside the house, but there was still no one. She naturally didn't believe that the stone flew out of nowhere. It was obvious that the person saw that she and Dowdu were in danger. But who could it be? For dinner, Zhao Yun'er and Dowda ate early. Then she made a few more dishes and sent them to Mu Lianfeng. Mo Yin was tired from helping Mu Lianfeng, so Zhao Yun'er prepared a portion for him. Anyway, it wasn't difficult for her to cook 1 or 2 more dishes. Putting the cooked dishes in a lunchbox, Zhao Yun'er took the lunchbox and went up the mountain. The grass in the field grew more luxuriant. Since the weather had cleared up, the weather had become much warmer. It could be said to be a warm spring rain. As spring deepened, many treasures appeared in the countryside. Zhao Yun'er saw many watercress growing in the gutters, so she planned on plucking some when she went down the mountain and stir-frying them later. They tasted very good. These wild, unpolluted things were treasures in the 21st century. They were very difficult to buy even with money. When she arrived at the foot of the mountain, the men who were working had already found a place to rest. The heavy smell of food wafted through the air. Auntie Lu and the others were cooking. Zhao Yun'er directly went to Mu Lianfeng's tent. Mu Lianfeng was discussing something with Mo Yin. Mo Yin stood up when she saw Zhao Yun'er come over. She said to Mu Lianfeng, Master, I'll be leaving first. Mu Lianfeng nodded. Chapter 627. Mo Yin did not dare to do that. Instead, she looked at Mu Lianfeng first, asking for Mu Lianfeng's opinion. Only when Mu Lianfeng nodded in agreement could he sit down and eat. This time, Mu Lianfeng did not argue with Mo Yin. After all, Mo Yin had been quite busy with the matters of the mine recently. Since your madam has allowed you to eat, just eat. All right. Thank you, master. Thank you, madam. Mo Yin nodded happily. Smelling the fragrance of the dishes, he felt that it was alluring. He had also tasted Zhao Yun'er's cooking. Come, let's eat. Zhao Yun'er took out the food from the container and placed it on the table. Mo Yin sniffed heavily. However, as Mu Lianfeng had not touched his chopsticks yet, she did not dare to eat. She could only wait for Mu Lianfeng to eat. Mu Lianfeng looked at the food on the table. There was a bowl of marinated tiger meat, a bowl of loach, a bowl of spicy tofu, a plate of scrambled eggs with leeks, and a bowl of natural vegetable soup. There was quite a lot of food, enough for him and Mo Yin to eat. The two of them ate heartily, almost licking up all the soup on the plate. It was as if they had been starving for days. After eating, Zhao Yun'er cleared away the plate and prepared to return. On the way back, she saw a rather large flat ground at the foot of the mountain. If she developed it, it would be enough for her to build a large house. There was also a small ditch with very clear water. It was perfect for scenery. As soon as Zhao Yun'er saw this piece of land, she thought of what it would be like to build a house. Actually, she did not have to choose a piece of land in the village. This piece of land was not bad either. It would save her the trouble of wrangling with Zhang Cui and angering herself. If she could interact with those weirdos, she would try her best not to interact with them. When she returned, she would tell Zhao Wenhua that she felt this place was not bad. Moreover, this place was close to the foot of the mountain, so it would be convenient for Mu Lianfeng to manage the mine when the time came. Mining was not something that could be done in a day or two. Zhao Yun'er estimated that it would take a while. He had only taken a few steps when he heard movement in the bushes. It sounded like a woman moaning. Zhao Yuner frowned. Not long ago, she had seen Zhao Wenshui and Qian Chuanxiu having sex in the wild. Could it be that she could see it again with her own eyes? Zhao Yuner whispered and walked towards the direction of the movement, and saw a man and a woman having sex together. The woman kept moaning in pleasure, but she was probably afraid that someone would hear her, so she deliberately lowered her voice. The more the man did it, the more excited he became. He couldn't wait to get the woman into his body. "You're much stronger than that damn cripple of mine," the woman said. "Of course. This feels good. Let's continue. We don't have many chances." "Isn't that so? Then we have to cherish it. Seeing that you're working so hard, I'll send you delicious food tomorrow to nourish your body. I still have a lot of eggs at home. I was going to save them up to sell them." "Hee, that's good. The food on the mountain is still a little less oily. It's not as good as the food you make." "That's right. You're working so hard. I can't treat you unfairly." After the woman finished speaking, the man's movements became more vigorous. Zhao Yuner was stunned. Isn't this woman Zhang Chui'er? Chapter 628. Zhao Yuner finally understood what it meant to be a B***tch. Although she shouldn't meddle in other people's business, Zhao Yuner still felt uncomfortable when she thought about how Papa Chen's family was being bullied by a B***tch. No matter what, she had to teach her a lesson. Zhao Yuner took note of this man's appearance. He didn't seem to be from the village, but from the group of people that Mu Lianfeng had brought over. That made things easier. Zhao Yuner turned around and quietly went back. Seeing that Zhao Yuner had returned, Dauda went forward and said to Zhao Yuner, "Mother, Dauda saw a beautiful uncle just now." "Beautiful uncle?" Zhao Yuner looked puzzled. She didn't know what Dauda was talking about. Yes. Dauda nodded heavily and explained. It turned out that a man in black had appeared in front of Zhao Yuner's house. He looked unusually handsome. Dauda didn't know if he was a good person or a bad person, so he only saw the man through the crack in the door and didn't go out. The man stayed for a while and then left. After hearing Dauda's story, Zhao Yuner guessed that this person had helped her chase Big Gray away. In addition to Dauda's description, this person couldn't be Yili, right? Could this man be so capable that he could find her here? But why did he come to her? Did he see that she hadn't been to town for a long time? Zhao Yuner shook her head. It was better not to think about these things. When she went to set up her stall, she could just ask Yili. Dauda tugged on her sleeve. "Mother, that beautiful uncle is so powerful. He can even fly in the sky. Dauda wants to be able to fly in the sky like him." Zhao Yuner patted Dauda's little head. "Daudu, flying in the sky is dangerous. What if you fall? Don't you agree?" Dauda nodded. "Then forget it. Dauda won't fly anymore." "Good girl." For the next 2 days, Zhao Yuner was busy with the land. Zhao Wenhua felt that Zhao Yuner was right. That piece of mountainous land could be repaired. If they bought it from the village, it would only cost 1 tael of silver. In addition to the cost of hiring manpower to repair the land, it was much cheaper than buying the Chen family's land. Thus, the whole family began to work on building the house. Building a house was not a simple matter, especially for Zhao Yuner's house. She had to find a professional bricklayer, but in the whole village, there were only 1 or 2 bricklayers. Bricklayers were very popular. Basically, in the nearby towns and villages, as long as there were people building houses, they would be able to get some jobs. Zhao Yuner's house was so big that they needed at least 7 to 8 bricklayers. 2 bricklayers in the village had already arrived, and the rest had to be found in the nearby villages. Yuner's father, Yuner's eldest and second uncles are bricklayers. Why don't we ask them to come over and help us? After all, bricklayers are not easy to find, Liang Jinxiao said. Speaking of Zhao Yuner's eldest and second uncles, in fact, the 2 families did not have much contact. The Liang family disliked Liang Jinxiao because old Zhao's family did not like old Zhao's family. In fact, they looked down on old Zhao's family. In addition, the Liang family was wealthier than old Zhao's family. Although they were not a rich family, they were still considered wealthy in the village. Previously, old Zhao's family was having a hard time, So Hua Chunhua asked Liang Jinxiao to borrow food from the Liang family. After borrowing twice, the Liang family inevitably had more opinions about old Zhao's family. They even had prejudice against Liang Jinxiao's younger sister. Chapter 629. Zhao Wenhua frowned and seemed a little worried. Yiner's mother. Will Yiner's eldest uncle and second uncle come to help us? Why not? They've already accepted the job, so they should accept the job for our family too, right? When the time comes, we'll just have to pay them the salary they deserve. Don't you think so? Zhao Wenhua thought for a moment. That's fine too. We'll discuss it with Yiner's eldest uncle and second uncle later. It'll be best if they can come. If they don't want to, then forget it. Yes. But I haven't been to Yiner's eldest uncle and second uncle's house in a long time. We have to bring some things over. Otherwise, it won't be nice. In the past, they didn't have the financial ability to do so. Now that their conditions were slightly better, the Liang family would definitely have objections if they didn't bring anything. In the past few years, Zhao Wenhua had been thinking of repairing the relationship with Liang Jinxiao's family. Unfortunately, he didn't have the chance. Yes. Okay. When are you going over? I'll prepare some things. Okay. Zhao Wenhua nodded. Even if Zhao Yiner's eldest uncle and second uncle were willing to come over, there weren't enough bricklayers at home. Therefore, they had to find other bricklayers. He had to ask around in the nearby villages. Zhao Yiner was at home preparing breakfast for tomorrow. The weather had finally cleared up. After she was almost done with the chores at home, it was time to start earning money. Zhao Wenhua could handle the construction of the house, so she didn't have to be too busy. Mu Lianfeng finally had some free time, after being busy on the mountain for a few days. For the past 2 days, Mu Lianfeng asked Zhao Yin to give the leftovers to Big Gray every time. After eating for 2 days, Big Gray started to wag its head and wag its tail at her family. Zhao Yiner was puzzled. Could this be the way to deal with Big Gray that Mu Lianfeng mentioned? Giving this beast delicious food was equivalent to raising it. Dogs understood humans. In order to eat their food every day, they naturally wouldn't bully them. Now Big Gray didn't even go home. He stayed in front of Zhao Yiner's house all day long. After all, compared to its master, the food that Zhao Yiner gave it was definitely much better. Mu Lianfeng, are we going to raise this dog? Zhao Yiner asked with a frown. To be honest, she hated Big Gray very much. Just looking at this dog made her feel disgusted. It was said that dogs were loyal, but Big Gray was an exception. He belonged to the category of people who would seek refuge from whoever fed him. Mu Lianfeng smiled and said, Yiner, don't worry. Of course I won't keep it. Looking at Mu Lianfeng's mysterious appearance, Zhao Yiner was even more curious about Mu Lianfeng's plan. Then, okay. Zhao Yiner nodded. She believed that Mu Lianfeng should have his own way. Because of the matter of Zhao Yiner choosing a new foundation, Zhang Chui'er couldn't stand it anymore and came looking for her. The moment she came looking for Yiner's house, she had the attitude of wanting to stir up trouble. Behind Zhang Chui'er was Old Man Chen. Seeing the two of them come over, Zhao Yiner ignored Zhang Chui'er and greeted Old Man Chen. Old Man Chen, what brings you to my house? Old Man Chen looked at Zhang Chui'er and hesitated for a moment. He seemed to be too embarrassed to speak. That, Yiner girl, I just wanted to ask you, do you still want my piece of land? Zhao Yiner shook her head. Old Man Chen, your price is too high. Even if I want to buy it, I can't afford it. That, we can discuss the price again. Chapter 630. This. Old Man Chen carefully looked at Zhang Chui'er. Zhao Yiner already said so, which meant that she didn't want to buy it and didn't need it. What else could he say? He couldn't force her to buy it. Zhao Yiner, didn't you agree with my father? I'll sell it to you for 2 taels of silver. Why are you going back on your word now? Zhang Chui'er jumped out and criticized her unhappily. Zhao Yiner was baffled. What's going on? This Zhang Chui'er's ability to distort right and wrong was unparalleled. Zhao Yiner curled her lips and smiled. That's right. I originally discussed it with Old Man Chen for 2 taels of silver. But Auntie, didn't you say it was 15 taels? It's so expensive. Our family doesn't want to waste money. What I said before doesn't count.
According to the 2 taels of silver that you and my father agreed on, we had to buy it when it was settled. Zhang Chui'er said confidently. Old Man Chen could only sigh helplessly. Auntie, did you make a mistake? You're the one who didn't want to sell it, and now you're the one who wants to sell it. After buying my family's land, you come here to talk about it? Aren't you a little too unreasonable? Zhao Yuner couldn't help but mock and ridicule. She wasn't a fool. 2 taels of silver wasn't much, but it was earned through hard work. Why would she give it to others for free? Zhao Yuner, since you don't buy it now, you're going against the rules and not being honest. No matter what, you have to buy my family's land today. Zhao Yuner only felt that Zhang Chui'er was crazy. She came here to cause trouble for no reason. How could she tell that she was easy to provoke? Or did she think that she was used to bullying Old Man Chen's family, so others had to give in to her? Auntie, then I'll say it clearly. I don't need your family's land. I don't want it. Please move aside and get lost. Zhao Yuner said to Zhang Chui'er, without holding back. What do you mean? That's what I mean. Father Chen sighed and said to Zhang Chui'er, Chui'er, let's go. They don't need our land, so why would they buy it for free? As soon as Old Man Chen finished speaking, Zhang Chui'er vented her anger on Old Man Chen. It's all because you're useless. Why didn't you keep an eye on them when they were buying other land? If you had come earlier, wouldn't the land have been sold? As she spoke, Zhang Chui'er moved her hands and directly pushed Father Chen to the ground. Looking at Zhang Chui'er's behavior, Zhao Yuner suddenly became angry. What kind of person is this? Papa Chen, are you okay? Zhao Yuner hurriedly helped Papa Chen up from the ground. Ouch, ouch, Old Man Chen cried out in pain. After all, he was old and his body couldn't withstand a fall. With such a fall, it was inevitable that his body would hurt. It's fine, Yuner girl. Papa Chen waved his hand. Seeing that Papa Chen was enduring the pain, Zhao Yuner glared at Zhang Chui'er. How can you treat an old man like this? Aren't you a little too immoral? Zhao Yuner scolded a little angrily. Zhang Chui'er replied very arrogantly. It's none of your business. I'll do whatever I want. You're crazy. Zhao Yuner got angrier and angrier. Hurry up and get lost. Don't be an eyesore in front of my house. I won't get lost. If you don't buy the land today, I won't leave. As she spoke, Zhang Chui'er put her hands on her waist and looked like she was going to fight to the end. Chapter 631. Since she couldn't chase her away, she decided to let the dog bite her. Thus she called out to Big Gray. Big Gray, go! Hearing Zhao Yuner's command, Big Gray ran out without hesitation and started to bite Zhang Chui'er. Big Gray knew that as long as he got on Zhao Yuner's good side, he would be able to eat a lot later. Ah! Zhang Chui'er was so scared that she quickly ran away, but she was still caught by Big Gray. Luckily, Zhang Chui'er was wearing thick cotton clothes and trousers, so she was wrapped up like a dumpling. Otherwise, she would have been bitten into pieces by Big Gray. Zhao Yuner, hurry up and tell the dog to get away from me, or else you'll have to pay for my medical expenses. Zhang Chui'er screamed at Zhao Yuner. Zhao Yuner smirked and chuckled. I'm sorry, Auntie. This big dog doesn't belong to me. If you want someone to pay for your medical expenses, you should look for my young mistress. What does it have to do with me? As Zhao Yuner said that, Zhang Chui'er screamed again. A large piece of cloth on her butt was bitten off, revealing her smooth butt. Woof woof woof. Big Gray still didn't let go, and bit Zhang Chui'er's smooth butt. This time, he bit directly, leaving a row of teeth marks on Zhang Chui'er's butt, and it even started to bleed. Luckily, Zhang Chui'er ran fast, or else the flesh on her butt would have fallen off. Big Gray chased after her relentlessly. Zhang Chui'er was scared out of her wits, but her butt was hurting badly. Seeing Big Gray pouncing over, Zhang Chui'er had no strength left. She glanced at the tree in front of Zhao Yuner's house, and used the last of her strength to slip up the tree. No matter how strong Big Gray was, he didn't know how to climb trees. He could only guard under the tree and bark nonstop. Zhang Chui'er patted her chest in shock, and shouted at Zhao Yuner who was under the tree. Zhao Yuner, hurry up and tell this damn dog to get out of my way. Zhao Yuner smirked and couldn't help but smile. She didn't expect Big Gray to have such a function.
It seemed like the food she fed him for the past 2 days wasn't for nothing. Now he could help her deal with weirdos. Auntie, you're wrong. The dog doesn't belong to me. How can it do whatever I tell it to do? You have to look for my young mistress. The dog listens to her. Zhang Cui was now on the tree and could not come down. How could she go and find Madame Hu? I don't care. Zhao Yuner, I'm telling you. I'm not done with you today. Zhao Yuner's mouth evoked a sarcastic smile. It's not my dog. Why is it not over with me? If it bites you, you should settle the score with its owner. If not, you should bite it too. What's the point of dragging me into this? You. Zhang Cui glared at Zhao Yuner angrily. What should he do now? Big Gray wouldn't let her go. She couldn't come down from the tree, and she couldn't find trouble with Zhao Yuner. She knew in her heart that it wasn't Zhao Yuner's dog. Even if she wanted Zhao Yuner to compensate, she couldn't. If she went to reason with Li Zheng would definitely stand on Zhao Yuner's side. Woof woof woof, Big Gray continued to bark at the tree. Mulan, who was in the house, couldn't help but cover her mouth and laugh. Looking at Zhang Cui's arrogant appearance, she was now on the tree. The commotion in front of Zhao Yuner's house attracted many villagers to watch. Seeing Zhang Cui being chased to the tree by the dog, with half of her but exposed, they laughed even harder. After all, she was a woman. It was very embarrassing for her, but to be seen by others. At this time, Zhang Cui became the laughingstock of the villagers. She was being talked about. Chapter 632. Haha. Crippled Chen is lucky to be able to marry a woman with such a big butt. What's the use of having a big butt? The women in the village with small butts were not convinced. She still can't give birth to a son. Not only can she not give birth to a son, she can't even lay an egg. I don't know if it's Zhang Cui's problem or Crippled Chen's. Who knows? Maybe both of them have problems. Haha. The onlookers were not afraid of making a big deal out of it and kept laughing. Zhang Cui's face turned red. Since there was nothing to cover her butt, Zhang Cui gritted her teeth and scolded the people under the tree. Who dares to look at my butt? Wait until I come down from the tree and gouge out your eyeballs. Yo, sister-in-law Cui is angry. Everyone don't look. It's embarrassing. Anyone would be embarrassed. That's not what we want to see. Her pants are torn so big. Who can't see her big white butt? Haha, interesting. This is the first time I see a person being chased to a tree by a dog. Her butt was even bitten. The people below were chatting happily. Zhang Cui was so angry that she was about to spit fire. How embarrassing. How could she continue to stay in the village after this? Zhang Cui was angry at Old Man Chen below. Damn old man. Don't you know how to chase the dog away? Otherwise, how can I come down? Old Man Chen finally reacted. With a bitter face he said, Cui, such a big dog. I can't chase it away. If you can't chase it away, why don't you call someone? Whose dog is yours? Old Man Chen quickly replied. Okay. Cui, wait here. I'll go call someone. After all, Zhang Cui was his daughter-in-law. Today's incident was also a disgrace to the Chen family. Looking at Old Man Chen's old body hurriedly running out, Zhao Yuner felt a burst of sympathy. The Chen family treated Zhang Cui so well that she was speechless. But this bitch was too heartless. Not only did she have a bad attitude towards the Chen family, she even had an affair. This kind of weird existence really dirted people's eyes. Zhao Yuner watched the show with great interest. Zhang Cui's embarrassment today was just the beginning. Zhao Yuner would definitely find out about her affair. Before long, Zhao Yuner's eldest grandmother, Madame Hu, was called over by Father Chen. She saw Big Gray yelling at Zhang Cui and even biting her butt. Madame Hu screamed in her heart that it was over. Since they were from the same village, Hu sure had some understanding of Zhang Cui. She was an unreasonable shrew. If he provoked her, he would get himself into trouble. Madame Hu, you old hag. Hurry up and get rid of your dog. Zhang Cui shouted angrily at Madame Hu. Woman, why are you like this? I came to save you with good intentions, but you're scolding me. Hu sure also replied with some displeasure. Who else can I scold if not you? You should be glad that I didn't scold your 18 generations of ancestors as well. You raised a mad dog that randomly bites people.
Zhang Chui'er said angrily. Can you still be reasonable? My family's Big Gray doesn't randomly bite people. You must have provoked him first. Besides, a beast is a beast, not a human. How can I control who it bites? Madam Hu looked at Zhang Chui'er on the tree and suddenly didn't want to save her. Chapter 633. Who's being unreasonable? Your family's mad dog bit someone, and you're still in the right? You damned woman, if you keep scolding me I'm leaving. You can just stay in the tree. Madam Hu said angrily. Although her family's Big Gray was wrong to bite Zhang Chui'er shouldn't have such an attitude. Old Man Chen hurriedly said. Sister-in-law, don't be angry. Only you can save Chui'er. Also, your family's Big Gray is really scary. If he really doesn't let go of Chui'er, he might bite Chui'er to death. Hearing Old Man Chen's words, it meant that someone's life might be involved. She didn't dare. If someone died, it wouldn't be a small matter. She raised Big Gray. If he bit someone to death, she would have to take responsibility. At that time, she might even have to go to jail. Thinking of this, Madam Hu was a little scared. Zhang Chui'er continued to scold from the tree. If you don't get rid of your damned dog today, I'll come down and fight you with a kitchen knife. Some of the nearby villagers also began to persuade her. Big Sister Hu, you should get rid of your family's Big Gray. Don't let anything happen to him. That's right, your family's Big Gray is too scary. Sister-in-law Hu, you have to look after your family's Big Gray. It's best to tie him up with a rope. Don't let him bite other people in the village. One by one they began to speak. They were afraid that they would become the next Zhang Chui'er. If they were also caught and bitten by Big Gray, what would Madam Hu do if she didn't care? Madam Hu sighed. All right then. As she spoke, she walked over to Big Gray and shouted. All right, Big Gray, come home with me. Big Gray glanced at Madam Hu and then looked at Zhao Yun'er, who was standing not far away. It seemed to be asking for Zhao Yun'er's opinion. If Zhao Yun'er didn't let him leave, he would continue to guard her. Zhao Yun'er didn't respond, so Big Gray ignored Madam Hu. Madam Hu felt strange. How come Big Gray didn't even listen to her? Let's go, Big Gray, come back with me. As Madam Hu spoke, she pulled the iron collar around Big Gray's neck and prepared to drag him away. Unfortunately, she sadly discovered that Big Gray didn't want to leave at all. No matter how hard Madam Hu tried to pull him, he wouldn't budge. Big Gray, what's wrong with you? Hurry and go back. Madam Hu scolded Big Gray. She was usually very obedient, but today she actually didn't listen to her. Woof woof woof, Big Gray barked at Madam Hu. Damn dog, it's fine if you don't listen to me. But you actually dared to bark at me. Who raised you? As Madam Hu spoke, she kicked Big Gray a few times as she continued to drag him away. Big Gray whimpered in pain, but he didn't move. Madam Hu immediately became angry. Dead dog. Do you think that this old woman can't deal with you? Hurry up and leave. Madam Hu continued to kick Big Gray's butt. These two kicks were not polite at all, causing Big Gray to jump up in pain. Madam Hu's behavior also angered Big Gray. Big Gray crazily barked at Madam Hu. You're rebelling, you damn dog. As Madam Hu spoke, she picked up a stone on the ground and threw it at Big Gray. Madam Hu was certain that Big Gray would bark, but he definitely wouldn't bite her. There were many people who raised dogs in the village, but she had never seen a family's dog bite its owner. Chapter 634. Woof woof woof, damn dog. I'll pull out your teeth later. You're getting bolder and bolder. Big Gray seemed to understand Madam Hu's words. This time, he rushed towards Madam Hu and pounced on her. Everyone was at a loss of what to do with the sudden turn of events. How could this Big Gray dog bite its master? Woof woof woof, Big Gray bit down on Madam Hu's arm. Then, they heard Madam Hu's pitiful cry. Hey, why is Big Gray like this? It's said that dogs are loyal to their owners. I've never seen a dog bite its owner. It looks like her family's dog is a mad dog. It's different from other dogs. Hey, what a pity. What do we do now? Big Gray caught Aunt Hu and bit her. What else can we do? We don't dare to go up. It's crazy. If we stop it, it'll definitely bite us too. Hey! The villagers discussed for a while. Although they sympathized with Madam Hu, none of them dared to go up and help her.
Big Gray's ferocity was too terrifying. Ah, my heavens, what kind of sin have I committed to raise such a beast? Madam Who began to cry and wail. While crying, she quickly shook off Big Gray. If she didn't run, she would be bitten to death. The flesh on his arm had been bitten off, and blood was still dripping from the wound. Although her arm hurt, she didn't pay much attention to it, because she was hiding from Big Gray. Seeing that she couldn't run away, Madam Who learned from Zhang Cui and climbed up the tree. Cui, quickly pull me up. Let me go up too. Zhang Cui hesitated for a moment. She didn't want to pull Madam Who up, but seeing Big Gray in front of Madam Who, she thought that Madam Who was angry with Big Gray because of her, so she pulled Madam Who up. The two of them ran up the tree together. Both of them were very miserable. One was bitten on the hand, the other on the butt. Big Gray was still standing under the tree and barking nonstop. Fortunately, dogs don't know how to climb trees. Otherwise, they would definitely rush up the tree and bite the two of them down. Madam Who patted her chest. It scared me to death. This damn dog wants to bite me to death. Auntie Who, why didn't you tie up your mad dog properly? Why did you let it out? Look at the wound on my butt. You've really embarrassed me today. Madam Who curled her lips. Wasn't it fine before? Who knew what had gotten into it today? Look at me, didn't I get bitten too? Ah, I lost a piece of flesh, it hurts so much. Zhang Cui looked at Madam Who's injuries. Madam Who's injuries were more serious than hers. I don't care. The dog belongs to your family. I don't care if it bit me, but you have to give me the medical fees and the money to nurse my body back to health. Otherwise, I'll go to Li Zheng's place and make a scene. Isn't that reasonable? Ah, Cui, my dog has gone crazy. What can I do? You must have provoked it. This kind of thing can't happen to our family. Why didn't the others bite you? Madam Who acted as if she was trying to shirk responsibility. Zhang Cui immediately became angry. What do you mean by that? Do you still have a reason for your dog to bite someone? Besides, I didn't provoke your dog. Who knows why it came over to bite me? You didn't provoke it, who knows? Madam Who snorted. Chapter 635. You woman, if I had known this would happen, I wouldn't have saved you. You'll have to pay for the medical fees anyway. Madam Who said angrily and suddenly regretted it. The two of them quarreled on the tree, and the surrounding villagers continued to watch the show. What happened today was too strange for them. It was simply unheard of. Zhao Yun'er watched with great interest and relish. The two weirdos had been punished, and she felt a sense of satisfaction. Big Gray continued to bark fiercely at the tree, as if he wanted to eat someone. Zhao Yun'er hooked up the corner of her mouth. The offspring of a weirdo were all weirdos. She didn't expect that Big Gray would betray his master and listen to her orders after she fed him for 2 days. However, she hated dogs that weren't loyal and didn't know how to feed them. It was impossible to keep them by her side, not to mention the grudge she had with Big Gray. If she really did raise him, he would definitely turn around and listen to others if someone gave him something to eat. Mulan couldn't help but hold her stomach and laugh after being teased. She felt that Madam Who and Zhang Cui's encounter was strange. Yun'er, it seems that raising a dog is useful. Whoever comes to make trouble, you can let the dog bite them. It's easier than doing it yourself. I'm going to raise a dog later. Zhao Yun'er smiled and said, Sure, Aunt Lu has a few puppies at home. I was worried that I wouldn't be able to give them away. You can catch one and raise it. Yes, then I'll catch one and raise it. It'll be good to keep it as a guard in the future. Yes. Big Gray stayed under the tree, unwilling to leave. Madam Who and Zhang Cui didn't know what to do. Old Man Chen hurriedly went to find Zhao Yun'er's eldest father, Zhao Baojun. When Zhao Baojun came over, he was holding a hoe to deal with Big Gray. After hearing Old Man Chen's explanation, he didn't dare to provoke Big Gray too much. The hoe in his hand was his self-defense tool. After Zhao Baojun came, he aimed the hoe at Big Gray. Big Gray was very smart. He knew that he couldn't beat Zhao Baojun. When Zhao Baojun rushed over, he quickly ran away. Madam Who cursed at Big Gray's back as he ran away. You damn dog, don't come back if you have the guts. If you come back, I'll kill you and make dog stew. Woof woof woof. Big Gray barked a few times, and then disappeared. Only then did Madame Hu and Zhang Chui dare to come down from the tree. Ouch, it hurt so much. Madame Hu complained. He was already so old and had lost a piece of flesh. How could he withstand such torment? Zhang Chui's injuries were not light. Her buttocks hurt terribly, but she did not dare to rub them. TSS'd. When Crippled Chen heard the news, he limped and rushed over. Teet teet. Teet asked Tess Chui. Are you all right? Teet. Teet 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 teet. Teet teet. S-halves. Teet, why did you only come now? Lame Chen immediately apologized. Chui'er, I heard the news and immediately rushed over. I didn't do it on purpose. All right, Chui'er, let's go back. We still have to ask a doctor to take a look at your wound. Old Man Chen sighed. The surrounding villagers started to tease. Lame Chen, it's not easy to see a doctor for your wife's wound. Won't other men see her white and big butt? Chapter 636. No man would want his wife's, but to be seen by others. And in front of so many people, by other men. It's fine. Didn't we all see it? There are quite a few men here. We saw it from afar. It's fine. When the doctor sees the wound, he will look at it carefully. When applying medicine, he has to touch it with his hands. The situation is different. That seems to be true. When Crippled Chen heard this, he felt uncomfortable. He felt that what the villagers said made sense. It could only be said that Zhang Chui'er's wound was not good. It just had to be bitten on the butt. If it had been bitten elsewhere, it would have been easy to deal with, Zhang Chui'er retorted angrily. You people, it's easy for you to say that. Do I want to be seen by others? If this dog's bite is not treated, let me tell you, even if I die, I will turn into a malicious spirit and drag all of you down with me. Zhang Chui'er's words were scary, coupled with her fierce gaze. The surrounding villagers quickly shut their mouths and did not dare to speak. The villagers also had their own taboos and believed in ghosts and gods. They were really afraid that Zhang Chui'er would come looking for them after she turned into a ghost. They just wanted to talk. They did not want to make a fuss about human lives. All right, Chui'er, let's go back quickly. Crippled Chen pulled Zhang Chui'er. No, wait. What's wrong, Chui'er? We have to make it clear to Mrs. Hu and the others. They have to pay for my medical expenses. Zhao Baojun frowned and said, My wife was bitten to save you. Shouldn't you also pay for our medical expenses? Mrs. Hu quickly agreed. That's right. I was bitten to save you too. It's much more serious than yours. You have to pay for my medical expenses too. Zhang Chui'er put her hands on her waist and scolded angrily. Who's to blame when your own dog bit me? Isn't it your own fault? Why is it my turn to pay for your medical expenses? Of course. If I didn't save you, would I have been bitten? Since you want me to pay, I'll make you pay. Zhang Chui'er felt that Mrs. Hu was too unreasonable and started to fight with her. Thus, the two of them started to wrestle together. The scene was spectacular. The villagers tried to persuade them for a while before they were able to pull them apart. In the end, it was a rather reputable old man in the village who came forward to teach them. In the end, they came to an agreement that although the Hu family would lose money, they would only pay half of it. The other half would be borne by the Chen family. Zhang Chui'er still felt that she had suffered a loss, but thinking that it was much better than Madame Hu going back on her word and not getting a single cent, she reluctantly nodded her head in agreement. The ruckus was almost over. After Zhao Yin'er watched the man leave, the courtyard finally returned to its quiet state. The weirdos had left, and they had seen enough of the commotion. Didn't they say that people from the countryside were simple and kind? She really did see a lot of weirdos here. Yin'er, I'm done with my work earlier. I'll take my leave first. Mulan stood up and said goodbye. Zhao Yin'er nodded. She knew that Mulan was busy and had children to take care of at home. Sister-in-law Mulan, it's fine. You can go back. After Mulan left, Zhao Yin'er tidied up her things. In the afternoon, Zhao Wenhua came over to talk to Zhao Yin'er about finding Zhao Yin'er's eldest uncle and second uncle. Speaking of which, she didn't have much of an impression of Zhao Yin'er's eldest uncle and second uncle, because they didn't have much contact with each other.
Chapter 637. Zhao Wenhua didn't expect Zhao Yun to be so generous. Yin you don't have much tiger meat left. Why don't you keep it for yourself? It's okay, father. Bring it over. I still have a lot of it at home. Zhao Yun didn't want her third branch to be disliked and looked down upon by her eldest and second uncles. She wanted to bring some good things for her eldest and second uncles to see that their family was no longer the same as before. All right then. Yinner, let's go tomorrow. Okay. Zhao Yinner's eldest and second uncles lived in Muyu village next door. It wasn't far from Shuilan village, so it wasn't too inconvenient for Zhao Wenhua to go there. After going to her eldest and second uncle's houses tomorrow, she still had to go to the neighboring village in the afternoon to make an appointment with the other bricklayers. Yinner, I still have to discuss the wages of the bricklayers with you. How do you think it's appropriate to pay them a day? Zhao Wenhua felt that he couldn't make the decision regarding the money, so he had to ask Zhao Yinner for her opinion. Zhao Yinner wasn't sure about the average wage for the bricklayers, so she asked about the market price. It was about 2 or 3 copper coins more. After discussing it with Zhao Wenhua, they decided that the bricklayers would be paid 30 copper coins a day. In addition, lunch would be included. In the countryside, this treatment was considered pretty good. All right then. Yinner, let's invite your eldest and second uncles tomorrow. After discussing this matter, Zhao Wenhua went back. Zhao Yinner tidied up the vegetable garden in the afternoon. Big Gray, who had run out, saw that Zhao Yinner's house was empty, so he wandered back. Big Gray walked over to Zhao Yun, and Mu Lianfeng, and shook his head and tail, looking like he was trying to please them. Mu Lianfeng's lips curled into a smile. He patted Big Gray's head a few times and said with a smile, "Good boy. You did well today. I'll give you something good to eat later." Big Gray understood Mu Lianfeng's words and became even more enthusiastic towards Mu Lianfeng. Zhao Yinner looked at this despicable dog and hated it. She didn't know when Mu Lianfeng would deal with it. If he didn't, Little Black would probably be depressed, because in the past Zhao Yinner and Mu Lianfeng had fed Big Gray eat. Zhao Yinner and Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun. Therefore, it was best to get rid of Big Gray as soon as possible. Okay. Zhao Yinner was curious, but Mu Lianfeng remained mysterious. He didn't tell Zhao Yinner what method to use. For dinner, Zhao Yinner made a few simple dishes. Mu Lianfeng took out a few sweet potatoes from the corner of Zhao Yinner's house. These sweet potatoes were given by Aunt Lu. Aunt Lu had planted a lot of them last year. Country people didn't like to eat coarse grain, but Zhao Yinner liked to eat them very much. These sweet potatoes could be placed in the stove and roasted with charcoal. The sweet potatoes roasted with this kind of wood were more fragrant and sweet than ordinary things. They were even more delicious than the sweet potatoes roasted with charcoal in the 21st century. In addition, they could be roasted and eaten. They could also be boiled with porridge. The sweet taste was sweet. Seeing Mu Lianfeng roasting the sweet potatoes, Zhao Yinner smiled and said, "If others knew, they would say that you suffered at my place. Shi actually started to eat coarse grain. So what?" Mu Lianfeng curled his lips and said with a smile, "Besides, these sweet potatoes aren't for me. I'm going to give them to Big Gray later." For Big Gray. Chapter 638. The mysterious smile on the corner of Mu Lianfeng's mouth made Zhao Yun wonder what Mu Lianfeng was up to. Is it really necessary to be so nice to Big Gray? Zhao Yinner asked with confusion. Yinner, don't worry. You'll find out in a while. Zhao Yinner sighed and said to Mu Lianfeng, "All right then." In fact, it was easy to deal with Big Gray. As long as Mu Lianfeng used a little bit of martial arts, he could directly stab Big Gray to death with a knife. Why did he have to do so many things now? Zhao Yinner decided to listen to Mu Lianfeng's arrangement and began to prepare the meal. When the meal was ready, Mu Lianfeng buried the sweet potatoes in the fire in the stove. After they finished eating, Mu Lianfeng went to the kitchen and took out the sweet potatoes from the stove. At this time, the sweet potatoes were already roasted and emitted a strong fragrance. Attracted by the fragrance, Big Gray and Little Hay both ran to Mu Lianfeng, wanting to have a taste. Seeing Little Hay coming over,
Big Gray squeaked at it twice. Little Hay was scared by Big Gray's fierce look and stepped back a few steps, whining with grievance. Big Gray continued to wag its tail at Mu Lianfeng proudly, as if it was saying that the sweet potatoes belonged to it alone, and only it could eat them. Woo woo woo. Little Hay whimpered a few times. In the past few days, because of Big Gray's existence, Little Hay had taken away all of Big Gray's attention. Dowda hurried forward, carried Little Hay, and comforted it. Little Hay, don't cry. I'll take you to eat other delicious food. Saying that, Dowda carried Little Hay into the room. Zhao Yin'er stood beside Mu Lianfeng, wanting to see what Mu Lianfeng was doing. Mu Lianfeng put the roasted sweet potatoes into cold water and took them out after a few seconds. Then he threw them on the ground and asked Big Gray to eat them. Big Gray licked the sweet potatoes on the ground with its tongue. Seeing that they were cold, it couldn't wait to take a bite. Woo woo woo. Big Gray howled twice, then lay on the ground, struggling for a few times, and stopped moving. Zhao Yin'er stared dumbfoundedly at the unforeseen event in front of her. She still didn't understand what had happened. What's going on? Zhao Yin'er asked after a few seconds. Yin'er, Big Gray is dead. Mu Lianfeng said calmly. Let's get rid of this evil dog. How? That's too unbelievable. Seeing Zhao Yin'er's puzzled face, Mu Lianfeng explained to Zhao Yin'er with a smile. Actually, the surface of the sweet potatoes was cold, but because they were soaked in cold water, the inside was hot. Humans can't eat such hot food, so dogs naturally can't eat it. That was to say, the dog was directly burned to death after eating the hot sweet potatoes. Even if he didn't directly stab it with a knife, he would suffer more pain. Thinking of that, Zhao Yin'er trembled. It was a horrible way to die. It was fine if Mu Lianfeng didn't make a move, but once he did, his methods were very cruel. Seeing that Zhao Yin'er didn't say anything, Mu Lianfeng asked, Yin'er, what's wrong with you? Zhao Yin'er shook her head and twitched the corner of her mouth. Nothing. I'm just wondering how you can be so smart to think of such a way. Chapter 639. Zhao Yin'er glanced at Big Gray on the ground. Since it was such a big dog, she naturally couldn't throw it away even if it was dead. Thus she said to Mu Lianfeng, why don't we skin it and eat dog meat hot pot? Dog meat tasted even more delicious. However, Zhao Yin'er felt that eating dog meat was too cruel in her previous life, so she only ate it once and didn't eat it again. However, it was undeniable that dog meat tasted very good. Zhao Yin'er didn't feel the slightest bit guilty about eating a dog like Big Gray that did all kinds of evil. Mu Lianfeng nodded. Okay. Mu Lianfeng and Zhao Yin'er didn't know how to skin the dog, so they called Lu Lei over. When Lu Lei saw the situation at Zhao Yin'er's house, he was very puzzled. Zhao Yin'er didn't hide anything and told Lu Lei everything. Lu Lei asked worriedly, Yin'er, if you do this, will your young mistress come over and make trouble later? Lu Lei knew that Madame Hu was an unreasonable troublemaker and wasn't easy to deal with, so he was worried about Zhao Yin'er's situation. Zhao Yin'er smiled and said, It's okay, Brother Lei. After you skin it, who can prove that it's his dog? Don't you think so? Right now my young mistress probably hates this dog to death. As for me, I'm now getting rid of a pest for our village. What if it bites someone again? Lu Lei had also heard about Big Gray biting someone today. For a vicious dog like Big Gray, it was indeed better to get rid of it as soon as possible. Okay then, Yin'er, let's skin it and eat it. Lu Lei very neatly peeled the dog fart and finished processing it. Big Gray had a lot of meat on his body. After processing it, he weighed it. It was a total of more than 50 kilograms. With so much dog meat, it was enough to eat for a while. Lu Lei helped to skin it, so Zhao Yin'er gave Lu Lei a hind leg. He was only one person, so it was completely enough for him to eat. As for the rest, Zhao Yin'er kept them for herself. She would have to distribute them later. Zhao Yin'er was going to give one front leg to Mulan and the other leg to Aunt Lu. She was going to keep one for herself. As for the middle leg, she was going to give some to the third branch. With this distribution, there weren't many dogs left. Zhao Yin'er had never cooked dog meat before, so she didn't know how to cook dog meat. She could only cook it according to the method of cooking beef. The taste should not be too bad. Yuner, if there's nothing else, I'm going back, Lu Lei said. When Zhao Yuner and Mu Lianfeng were together, he was like a light bulb in front of them. Yes, yes. Brother Lazy, be careful on your way back. Lu Lei nodded and left with his lackey. When he reached home, Lu Lei heard some noises in the house. Lu Lei thought that a thief had broken into his house, so he hurriedly yelled into the house. Who is it? A girl's voice came from inside the house. Brother Lu, it's me. It was Xiao Hong. Lu Lei frowned, and when he saw Xiao Hong coming over, he asked, Xiao Hong, why are you here? Xiao Hong smiled and said, Brother Lu, I'm here to give you a pair of shoes. I saw that there was a hole in the shoes on your feet, so I asked my mother to teach me how to make a pair of shoes for you these few days. Otherwise, you can't wear leather shoes, right? Lu Lei lowered his head and looked at his shoes. There was indeed a big hole, and his big toe was exposed. Chapter 640. This was the downside of not having a woman. Unlike the other people in the village, who had their wives by their side to take care of them, they didn't need to worry about these things. Xiao Hong continued, Brother Lu, I came over and found that you weren't at home. Then, I saw that your house was in a mess, so I helped you clean it up and waited for you to come back. Lu Lei looked at his house. It was indeed much cleaner and tidier. The floor was swept by Xiao Hong. The quilt on the bed was folded neatly, and the tables and chairs were wiped clean. As a man, he didn't know how to tidy up his house normally, so he always made the house a little messy. Now that the house was clean and tidy, it was much more comfortable to stay inside. At this moment, he suddenly thought that if he could have a wife, his house would be clean like this every day. In the future, there would be someone to do his laundry and cook for him, and there would also be someone to accompany him. Xiao Hong took out the shoes she made and handed them to Lu Lei. Brother Lu, try them on and see if they fit. If they don't, I'll take them back and change them for you. Lu Lei looked at Xiao Hong blankly and felt a little embarrassed. Brother Lu, try them on. It wasn't easy for me to make them for you. You won't reject them, right? Lu Lei looked at Xiao Hong's worried gaze and couldn't bear to reject Xiao Hong, so he took them and tried them on. He didn't know how Xiao Hong knew the size of his feet, but they fit perfectly. Fortunately, there's no need to change them. Brother Lu, just wear them like this. If you need them in the future, let me know and I'll make them for you. Lu Lei responded, Thank you, Xiao Hong. Xiao Hong smiled slightly and said, Brother Lu, you don't have to be so polite with me. Seeing that Xiao Hong made a pair of shoes for him, Lu Lei felt that he had to repay her with something. He couldn't accept Xiao Hong's favor for nothing and let her work hard for him. Thus, he took out a knife and cut half of the dog meat and gave it to Xiao Hong. Xiao Hong, this is dog meat. It's best if you take it back with your father's wine. Xiao Hong didn't stand on ceremony and asked curiously, Brother Lu, where did you get this dog meat? Lu Lei naturally wouldn't say that it was Zhao Yun'er who killed Big Gray of the Hu family. He casually replied, Someone gave it to me. Xiao Hong tactfully did not pursue the matter. Then Brother Lu, thank you. If she brought the dog meat back to her father to eat with wine, her father would definitely be very happy. At that time, his impression of Lu Lei would also increase. Thinking of this, Xiao Hong felt a little happy. Lu Lei felt that it wasn't good for Xiao Hong to stay in his house for too long, so he hurriedly urged her to go back. Xiao Hong did not shamelessly insist on leaving. She knew that this would only make Lu Lei feel disgusted. Then Brother Lu, I'll take my leave first. Thank you for the dog meat. It's fine, Xiao Hong. Thank you for the shoes too. Yes, yes. Xiao Hong left with a red face. Looking at Xiao Hong's departing figure, Lu Lei fell into deep thought. Could he choose to marry Xiao Hong? Since it was impossible for him to be with Zhao Yun'er, he couldn't be single for the rest of his life. The next morning, Zhao Yun'er woke up early and went to the town to set up a stall. She hadn't woken up early for a long time. This time, she suddenly felt a little uncomfortable and dozed off along the way. Chapter 641. Yun'er, are you so sleepy because you had sex with Prince Shitzi until late at night? After Mulan asked, Zhao Yun'er understood what Mulan meant when she saw the ambiguous smile on her face. She blushed at once. Sister-in-law Milan, please don't tease me. Prince Shitsi and I haven't done it yet. Zhao Yuner said in a low voice. Although she lowered her voice, Liang Jinxiao, who was sitting in the car, still heard it. Liang Jinxiao was Zhao Yuner's mother, so it was inappropriate for her to tell Zhao Yuner about it. After all, it was indeed very awkward for mother and daughter to talk about it. Mulan was different. Mulan was only 2 or 3 years older than Zhao Yuner, so she could talk to Zhao Yuner about it. Hearing that Zhao Yuner and Mu Lianfeng hadn't had sex until now, Mulan couldn't help but feel a little surprised. Yuner, are you lying? Mulan, don't look at me like that. There's really nothing going on between Prince Shitsi and me. Mulan saw that Zhao Yuner was serious and didn't seem to be lying. Yuner, haven't you been sleeping on the same bed with Prince Shitsi these days? Zhao Yuner nodded and said, Yes, I've been sleeping on the same bed with Prince Shitsi. Her house was only so big, so it couldn't fit 2 beds. She could only squeeze in with Mu Lianfeng. Mulan sighed in her heart and began to gossip. Yuner, Prince Shitsi is really good at controlling himself. It's said that when a man and a woman sleep on the same bed, something will always happen. I didn't expect that you've slept on the same bed for so long and nothing has happened. If Mulan didn't know that Daodu was Mu Lianfeng's son, she would have suspected that Mu Lianfeng had sex problems. What's wrong with that? It's not like something has to happen, right? Zhao Yuner muttered. Mulan sighed and clicked her tongue in admiration. Yuner, Lord Heir is truly a good man. If it was an ordinary man, he would definitely not be able to stand it. Prince Shitsi wanted to be responsible for you. But you didn't agree, so he didn't touch you. Zhao Yuner remained silent. She was right. Mu Lianfeng did want to touch her, but he was rejected by Zhao Yuner, so Mu Lianfeng didn't force her. All in all, Mu Lianfeng was a good man, not an animal who thought with his lower body. He respected her opinion. In this era, such a man was very rare. Mulan still couldn't figure it out. Yuner, you're not young anymore. Didn't you think about sex when you slept on the same bed with Prince Shitsi? Mulan thought about herself. When she was Zhao Yuner's age, she had already married Zhu Eru. When she was young and energetic, she would pester Zhu Eru every night. If she didn't have sex with him at night, she would feel uncomfortable. Being asked by Mulan, Zhao Yuner blushed and didn't know how to answer. Mulan, aren't you ashamed to talk about sex with me? What's there to be ashamed of? When you talked about me in the past, I didn't see you being shy. Now that I'm talking about yourself, you're shy. Haha, Yuner, in fact, we'll go through it. Don't be shy. Zhao Yuner felt that her face was burning. Why did Mulan become so? Well, she didn't see Mulan's flirtatious side before. She had a dirty heart. Chapter 642. If she continued talking, Zhao Yuner would probably find a hole and hide in it. Mulan didn't ask any more questions, but Zhao Yuner was thinking about it on the way. Her relationship with Mu Lianfeng was almost developed. Should she consider having sex with him next? After all, Mu Lianfeng wasn't young anymore. If he held it in for too long, what if he got sick from holding it in? After a while, they arrived at the town and started setting up the stall. She hadn't been here for a while, so there was a layer of dust on the table. Because she had rested for a while, business was obviously not as good as before. Perhaps she didn't think that her breakfast stall would continue, so she didn't come here. At around 7 o'clock, she saw Yi Li dressed in black walk over coolly and sit at Zhao Yuner's stall. Zhao Yuner went up and said with a smile, "What a coincidence. I've rested for so many days, and only set up my stall again today. How did you know that I would come here today?" Yi Li looked up and glanced at Zhao Yuner. The corners of his mouth curved into a smile as he replied, "It's not a coincidence. I come here every day to take a look, but I've been waiting until today. May I know why you haven't been here recently?" "It's been raining recently. Rainy days are too troublesome. I couldn't come, so I didn't come. So that's how it is. I thought something had happened to you." "Haha, thank you for your concern. We're fine." "That's good," Yi Li muttered, but he looked a little disappointed. Zhao Yuner felt that Yi Li was a little strange. She thought that he was unhappy because he had waited for them for so many days. Order whatever you want to eat. In the future, you can eat and drink here for free. You don't have to pay. However, Yili shook his head and said, "That won't do. I will still pay what I need to pay. When I run out of money one day, you can give me a free meal." Zhao Yun'er smiled. "All right then. Do as you wish." Yes. In the morning, Zhao Yun'er's business wasn't doing very well. But because of Yi Li's charm, many people came over. So the things that Zhao Yun'er prepared were all sold out. Therefore, it was all thanks to Yi Li. Looking at the man's cold and handsome appearance, Zhao Yun'er couldn't help but touch her chin. How could there be such a good-looking person? His kung fu was so high. He was so cool. It was normal for women to be attracted to him, right? Yi Li caught Zhao Yun'er's attention, and Yi Li suddenly looked at Zhao Yun'er. When their eyes met, Zhao Yun'er felt a strange feeling. She quickly avoided Yi Li's gaze. She said to Mulan and Liang Jinxiao, "Sister-in-law Mulan, mother, let's pack up the stall and go back." Zhao Yun'er heard a soft sigh. Zhao Yun'er wasn't sure if it was Yi Li, or if she was hallucinating. After packing up the stall, they went to the market to do some shopping. They saw that they had bought everything they needed. Liang Jinxiao said to Zhao Yun'er, "Yun'er, I want to buy a few quilts." Zhao Yun'er asked curiously, "Mother, what are you buying quilts for?" "We've decided with the family Qin on the date of your sister Pinger's wedding. It's going to be on the 8th of next month. We don't have new quilts at home, and we don't have cotton to play with, so we'll just buy a few quilts." Chapter 643. Since Zhao Ping was getting married, the third branch of the family had to prepare blankets for Zhao Pinger's wedding. It was already the 4th of March, and the Qingming festival would arrive in a few days. There was not much time left until the 8th of the next month. "Mother, I know a shop that sells blankets. The prices are relatively cheaper. I'll take you there." Liang Jinxiao replied, "All right then." Zhao Yun'er led Liang Jinxiao to a shop that sold blankets. It was the shop where her family bought blankets previously. Zhao Yun'er wanted to see if the old lady was there. If it was not the old lady but the woman named Kaifeng, Zhao Yun'er would have to consider the price before deciding whether to buy the blankets. The reason why she came to this shop was because the prices of the other shops in Yang City were too expensive. She wanted to save as much money as she could on unnecessary expenses. When Zhao Yun'er went over, the old lady was there. Although it was not necessarily cheaper, Zhao Yun'er preferred to deal with people like this. The old lady's daughter-in-law was really too annoying. The old lady also remembered Zhao Yun'er. When she saw Zhao Yun'er coming over, she smiled and welcomed her. She asked Zhao Yun'er, "Miss, are you here to buy blankets again?" Zhao Yun'er nodded. The old lady asked Zhao Yun'er to look around the shop and finally decided on 6 blankets. The 6 blankets were bought with cotton from last year, so the price was much cheaper. Compared to the price Zhao Yun'er paid last time, it was 1 copper coin less per kilogram of blankets. After all, the weather was getting warmer and fewer people were buying blankets. If she accumulated the blankets in her hands and bought them again in winter, the cotton would be older, and it would be difficult to sell them. The old lady was very happy that Zhao Yun'er had bought so many blankets this time. After buying the blankets, she was about to go back when she saw 2 figures enter the shop. It was none other than Zhao Yun'er's second aunt, Wu Zhenju, and her cousin Liang Xinyue. Zhao Yun'er's second aunt Wu Zhenju was in her 30s. Because the Liang family was not very poor, the women in the family ate well and did not need to work much. They took good care of themselves and looked much fairer and younger than Liang Jinxiao. Liang Xinyue was the daughter of Zhao Yun'er's second aunt Wu. She was 16 years old and beautiful. The girls in Liang Jinxiao's family were not ugly. After all, they had good genes. When she saw Wu Zhenju and Liang Xinyue, Liang Jinxiao's wife, why are you here? What a coincidence." Wu Zhenju glanced at Liang Jinxiao, who came forward, but did not show much enthusiasm. She only replied indifferently, "Hey, isn't this eldest sister?" When Liang Xinyue saw Liang Jinxiao, she simply ignored her and did not even greet her eldest aunt. Wu Zhenju and Liang Xinyue's attitude was because they thought that Liang Jinxiao's old Zhao family was not well received. Old Zhao's family was poorer than the Liang family, and Liang Jinxiao had borrowed food from her mother's family from time to time. Therefore, they looked down on Liang Jinxiao. The Liang family was very powerful and did not care about kinship. Chapter 644. Liang Jinxiao was about to recommend this method, but she was coldly interrupted by Wu Zhenju. That's enough, sister. You don't have to say any more. You're only buying these cheap things because your family is poor. My family isn't like yours. My family's has found a good marriage, and I don't want to let her use the quilt that I prepared for her dowry in a shabby manner. Wu Zhenju's tone sounded like she was proudly showing off, which made people feel very uncomfortable. Liang Xinyue raised her chin arrogantly and looked down on Liang Jinxiao. Zhao Yun'er's mouth twitched involuntarily. What was going on? What a weirdo. Looking at Wu Zhenju's tone and attitude, Zhao Yun'er felt that he was even more annoying than those people from old Zhao's family. Although some people from old Zhao's family were weirdos, they did not have such a high and mighty attitude. Thus, Zhao Yun'er tugged at Liang Jinxiao and said to Liang Jinxiao, "Mother, forget it. You're kind enough to introduce him, but he doesn't appreciate it. Why are you still talking so much?" Zhao Yun'er's words attracted Wu Zhenju's and Liang Xinyue's attention. Wu Zhenju stared at Zhao Yun'er, and then the corner of her mouth raised into a sarcastic smile. "Oh, isn't this my niece who got pregnant before marriage and lost the face of the family?" When Zhao Yun'er saw Wu Zhenju's face, she wanted to go up and slap her again. She wanted to see if she would continue talking nonsense. In the end, she controlled herself. She knew that if she really hit Wu Zhenju, it would be her parents who would be embarrassed. Thus, she endured it and decided to ignore this kind of person. Just as she was about to leave with Liang Jinxiao, Wu Zhenju's sarcastic words rang out again. "Tisk tsk tsk. What an uneducated person. Don't you know how to greet your second aunt? Eldest sister, it's because you haven't had a good upbringing. It's fine if you don't have any sense of shame, but now you don't even know how to be a person. What's the point of keeping such a daughter? If it were me, I would just throw him into the pond and drown him." Zhao Yun'er curled her lips and sneered. "Second aunt, I was raised by my mother. When did second aunt have the right to tell me what to do? You said that I didn't have any manners and didn't greet you. Your cousin, isn't she the same? Why does she know to greet my mother as an elder? Second aunt, I think you'd better discipline your own daughter before you talk about my mother." When Zhao Yun'er said this, Wu Zhenju didn't know how to refute. Liang Xinyue looked at Zhao Yun'er angrily. She actually said that she had no manners. Wu Zhenju looked at Zhao Yun'er in front of him and felt strange. In the past, this niece of his was very timid and cowardly. No matter what others said, she wouldn't reply. Now she actually knew how to talk back. Wu Zhenju couldn't win against Zhao Yun'er, so he vented his anger on Liang Jinxiao. "Eldest sister, you really raised a good daughter. How can you talk to your elders like this? Do you still think I'm your second aunt?" Liang Jinxiao sighed secretly in her heart. Seeing Wu Zhenju's angry look, she didn't know what to say. In fact, she agreed with Zhao Yun'er in her heart, but she didn't want her relationship with Wu Zhenju to be too stiff. After all, Wu Zhenju was her second sister-in-law. She was a girl married out of the Liang family. She couldn't cut ties with the Liang family in the future. Chapter 645. Hearing Liang Jinxiao's words, Wu Zhenju's attention was diverted. "Of course. Forget it. I won't argue with you. After all, we're not on the same level. I saw that you bought so many quilts. Could it be that Yun'er has found her husband's family? The quilts you gave Yun'er as her dowry are made of chin cotton. I think Yun'er's husband's family isn't very good. Anyway, it's already good enough for a woman who gets pregnant before marriage to find her husband. It doesn't matter whether the man is poor, ugly, or disabled. As long as she can get married and not embarrass her family, it's fine." Wu Zhenju began to talk to himself. Hearing that, Zhao Yun'er's lips twitched violently. She couldn't help but think that this woman was so dramatic. How could she make something out of nothing out of the ordinary? Liang Jinxiao smiled embarrassedly. "No, Jinxiao, It's not for Yunar's wedding. Wu Zhenju continued to mock with a smile. Hasn't Yunar found her husband's family yet? Alas, what a pity. Jinxiao, Yunar can't go on like this. I think you'd better get her married as soon as possible. Isn't there an old widower in Miyu village? Why don't I ask someone to help you talk to Yunar about her marriage? In this way, your family can receive a sum of money as a wedding gift. After Wu Zhenju finished speaking, Zhao Yunar couldn't stand it anymore. Liang Jinxiao was also displeased. Zhao Yunar glared at Wu Zhenju. Aunt, you don't need to worry about me. You're greedy for money, but it doesn't mean that my mother is the same. If you like money so much, why don't you sell my cousin to a brothel? She can earn dozens of taels of silver per person. It's definitely more than the wedding gift you received, right? After Zhao Yunar finished speaking, Wu Zhenju clenched her teeth and scolded Zhao Yunar. What are you talking about, you lowly hussy? I'm doing this for your own good. Why don't you take a look at your own virtue? How can my Yuer be compared to you? Liang Xinhua also said angrily. I'm not such a shameless person. I'm not even married yet, and I'm already having an affair with a wild man. I even got myself pregnant. Jinxiao, you should go back and teach your daughter how to behave. She's such a disgrace. Zhao Yunar looked at the mother and daughter who were echoing each other. She only felt that it was funny. She glanced at them coldly. Aunt, you're an elder, so I'll let you have your way. But if you dare to say another word, don't blame me for tearing your mouth apart. Anyway, if you don't say it, I'm an uneducated person. I won't blame my conscience for doing anything to you. I'm not afraid of anything. Zhao Yunar's sharp eyes scared Wu Zhenju. He muttered a few words of dissatisfaction and didn't dare to say anything more about Zhao Yunar. Zhao Yunar laughed in her heart. Sure enough, she had to be more forceful when dealing with certain people. The more you let them have their way, the more they would bully you. Jinxiao, Yunar isn't going to marry. Why did you buy so many quilts? Wu Zhenju asked again. In fact, she was more concerned about where Liang Jinxiao got the money to buy these quilts. Although it wasn't very expensive, it would cost about 1 tael of silver to buy 6 quilts at once. Liang Jinxiao was so poor that he even had to borrow food. How could he take out so much money? Chapter 646. Wu Zhenju and Liang Xinhua were even more surprised when they heard Liang Jinxiao say that Zhao Ping was going to get married than when they heard that Zhao Yunar was going to get married. Wu Zhenju smacked his lips and asked in disbelief. Sister Ping actually managed to find a husband? Zhao Yun was so surprised when she saw Wu Zhenju's expression that even her jaw dropped. She couldn't help but complain in her heart. Isn't it just Zhao Ping getting married? Is there a need to make such a fuss? Liang Xinhua directly exclaimed. Zhao Ping is such an ugly woman. How can she get married? Oh my god, I wonder who is so blind. Liang Jinxiao was so embarrassed that she didn't know how to reply to Wu Zhenju. If her Ping heard Wu Zhenju and Liang Xinhua's words, she would probably be heartbroken. It just so happens that the matchmaker introduced her to a family, and the 2 children made do with each other. Wu Zhenju couldn't help but criticize her again. Sister, he must be poor and can't find a wife. So he married your Pinger, right? Liang Jinxiao twitched the corner of her mouth. That child's family is a little poor. Wu Zhenju pretended to be sympathetic. Sister, you're so pitiful. You married your Pinger to a poor man. And you probably didn't even receive a single copper coin as a gift. Now that you've bought so many quilts, it seems that you're prepared to pay for it. TSK sister, speaking of which, you're also a poor person. You raised 2 daughters and they're both like this. One is worse than the other. As for Zhao Yunar, Wu Zhenju didn't dare to say anything about Zhao Yunar because of her warning. From Wu Zhenju's tone and expression, it was clear that Wu Zhenju looked down on Zhao Yunar's family. Liang Xinhua chuckled. Mother, you're wrong to say that. Even if cousin Ping loses some money, it's still a good thing for her to get married. Otherwise, she'll have to eat for the rest of her life. It's much better than losing money. When Wu Zhenju heard this, she nodded in agreement. That's true. Haha, my Yuer is so lucky to be able to marry into a good family. When the time comes, she will be able to bring her parents to enjoy life. Liang Xinhua said proudly. Mother, of course. I will definitely be filial to you and father when the time comes. Zhao Yuner couldn't stand it anymore. Two weirdos, two weirdos. From the moment they met until now, they had been belittling them and praising themselves all the time. They were all ordinary people. So Zhao Yuner didn't understand why Wu Zhenju and Liang Xinyue had such a sense of superiority. Zhao Yuner pulled Liang Jinxiao's sleeve and said to Liang Jinxiao, "Mother, if you don't want to be scolded anymore, you'd better leave now." Liang Jinxiao nodded. Even if she wasn't sad, Zhao Yuner would be sad when her second sister-in-law scolded Zhao Yuner like that. "Second sister-in-law, we'll leave now." Wu Zhenju just nodded. Zhao Yuner and Liang Jinxiao carried the quilt into the car. When Wu Zhenju saw Zhao Yuner's donkey, he couldn't help but ask, "Sister, does this donkey belong to you or is it rented?" "It belongs to my family." "Your family?" "Sister, where did your family get the money to buy a donkey?" "Yuner bought it, not me. It's all Yuner's money." Hearing Liang Jinxiao's words, Wu Zhenju was even more curious. Where did Yuner get the money? Chapter 647. Wu Zhenju snorted coldly. "If you don't want to say it, then don't say it. I'm guessing that it must be some shady business. Otherwise, why wouldn't you dare to let others know?" Zhao Yuner really didn't want to talk to this kind of person. She could say whatever she wanted. Their mouths belonged to them, and she couldn't stop them from doing so. Moreover, no matter how nasty other people's words were, she wouldn't lose anything. "Second aunt, you can say whatever you want. We're going back first," Zhao Yuner said coldly. Seeing that Zhao Yuner was about to leave, Wu Zhenju hurriedly called out to Zhao Yuner, "Wait a minute, Yuner girl. Since your family has a donkey, why don't you send us back?" Zhao Yuner's lips curled into a sneer. She didn't know how Wu Zhenju had the nerve to say such a thing. "Second aunt, can't you see that my donkey is already pulling 3 people? There are so many things on top of that. How can I bring the 2 of you along?" Wu Zhenju pursed his lips. He was very displeased. Zhao Yuner couldn't be bothered with Wu Zhenju. She patted Xiao Mao's butt and said to Xiao Mao, "Xiao Mao, let's go. Let's go." Xiao Mao understood Zhao Yuner's words. It took off and flew away. In a short while it was far away. On the way back, Zhao Yuner couldn't help but sigh at Liang Jinxiao's family's weirdos. If she had known this would happen, she wouldn't have let Zhao Wenhua look for her eldest uncle and second uncle. If her eldest uncle and second uncle were like Wu Zhenju, she definitely wouldn't have let them work. Liang Jinxiao sighed and said, "Yuner, don't argue with your second aunt. She's that kind of person." "Mother, I won't argue with her. But we should interact less with them in the future. They look down on us anyway." "Oh, okay. Actually, we don't interact much with them. We might not even meet once a year." Yes, this was also what Zhao Yuner felt gratified about. Otherwise, she would be annoyed to death if those people strolled in front of her every day like old Zhao's family. Xiao Mao quickly brought the 3 of them back to the village. In the late spring, the farm work became busier. Many people had to go down to the fields to weed. When Zhao Yuner sent Liang Jinxiao home, Zhao Ping'er was in the courtyard. Ma Xiaofeng and Zhao Tianan were also standing in the courtyard. They were chatting happily. Zhao Tianan stood beside Ma Xiaofeng, looking very shy. Even so, Zhao Tianan still couldn't help but get closer to Ma Xiaofeng. His eyes peeked at Ma Xiaofeng from time to time. When Zhao Yuner saw Zhao Tianan's reaction, she knew that her younger brother had been poisoned. She sighed slightly in her heart. When they heard the sound of the carriage, several people looked in the direction of Zhao Yuner. Ma Xiaofeng was obviously a little nervous when facing Zhao Yuner. She didn't dare to look into Zhao Yuner's eyes. However, she still went forward and greeted Zhao Yuner. "Sister Yuner, you're back?" For the sake of Zhao Tianan's face, Zhao Yuner responded indifferently. "Ping'er, I bought your dowry quilt today," Liang Jinxiao said to Zhao Ping'er. Looking at the brand new quilt on the carriage, Zhao Ping'er smiled happily. "Mother, thank you. What are you thanking me for?" "Mother, you're so nice. You child, you're my daughter. If I don't treat you well, who else can I treat well?" Chapter 648. Her family was poor, so she couldn't afford many things. In addition, in her mother's eyes, She was just a good-for-nothing. So she had to leave everything at home to her younger brother. She didn't have any complaints. After all, it wasn't easy for her family, and her younger brother's marriage was troublesome. If she didn't think about her younger brother now, it would be more difficult in the future. It was precisely because of this that she had to find a good family. Only by marrying a rich man could she eat and drink well, and help her family live a good life, so they wouldn't have to suffer. Sister Ping, congratulations. Ma Xiaofeng's tone had a hint of envy. Thank you, Xiaofeng. When I get married, we won't have many opportunities to be together. We probably won't be able to see each other much in the future. It's okay, Sister Pinger. You can come back to your parents' home more often. Won't we be able to see each other then? Yes, Xiaofeng. I have to come back a few more times for you. Yes. Zhao Yun'er saw Zhao Ping, and Ma Xiaofeng acting like sisters and couldn't help but want to laugh. She didn't know if Zhao Ping had a pig's brain. Chu Chu was scheming against her, but she was still so close to her. Second sister, Xiaofeng is the one who sent us the chicken grass. Zhao Tianan hurriedly said to Zhao Yun'er, wanting Zhao Yun'er to have a good impression of Ma Xiaofeng. Really? Yes. Zhao Yun'er looked at the chicken coop. A few chickens were burying their heads and eating a few pieces of grass. Liang Jinxiao hurriedly said, Thank you, Xiaofeng. Ma Xiaofeng smiled shyly. You're welcome, Auntie. My family also needs chicken grass, so I just sent some over. Haha, thank you still. Mother, you don't have to be so courteous with Xiaofeng. When Tianan and Xiaofeng get married in the future, we'll be a family. Zhao Pinger teased from the side. Zhao Tianan immediately lowered his head shyly, while Ma Xiaofeng looked at Zhao Pinger coquettishly. Sister Pinger. Haha, Xiaofeng, you don't have to be shy. You and my brother are very suitable. It's best if you two are together. When you two get married, we'll be even closer. Don't you think so? Liang Jinxiao smiled awkwardly and did not know what to say. He glanced at Zhao Yun'er and felt very worried. According to the current situation, it would be difficult to separate Ma Xiaofeng and Zhao Tianan. Just as Zhao Yun'er was about to leave, Zhao Wenhua returned. She went to her eldest uncle and second uncle's house today, but looking at the situation, Zhao Wenhua's expression was not right. He did not seem to be very happy. Seeing Zhao Wenhua frowning, Zhao Yun'er asked, Father, what's wrong with you? Sigh. Zhao Wenhua sighed and said, Yun'er, your eldest uncle and second uncle said that if they want to help, they have to pay 5 copper coins a day more than the other bricklayers. They can't pay the same price as outsiders. If they don't pay 5 copper coins more, they won't come over. Zhao Yun'er frowned. Hearing Zhao Wenhua's words, she was also very angry. If we give my eldest uncle and second uncle more for the same job, how will the others be convinced? If the other bricklayers knew about it, they would definitely not be willing to work more than her eldest uncle and second uncle. On the other hand, Zhao Yun'er was angry that they were all relatives, but they were so calculative. Since they were a family, shouldn't they not ask for remuneration? Besides, the price she paid was not low, so there was no need to calculate so clearly. Chapter 649. She was too lazy to serve them. Zhao Wenhua sighed. All right, Yun'er, let's not look for your eldest uncle and second uncle. Okay. Although there weren't many bricklayers, there were still some. It would be good if they could find a few bricklayers. They could also find 2 ordinary workers to help them, and the house would definitely be built. Oh right, there's one more thing. What's wrong, father? Sigh, your eldest uncle and second uncle said that since we have the money to build a house now, we should return the 3 loads of grain that we borrowed from them previously. We have borrowed the grain for a few years, and we have to add another load of grain as interest. We have to return 4 loads of grain in total. After Zhao Wenhua finished speaking, he continued to sigh. 4 loads of grain was 400 kilograms, and 1 load of grain was 500 to 600 copper coins. 4 loads of grain was more than 2 taels of silver. This wasn't a small amount. Liang Jinxiao couldn't help but ask. Previously, my mother said that we should forget about the grain. Why did she ask for it now? Zhao Wenhua was very helpless. Yun'er's eldest uncle said that things are different now, In the past we couldn't return the grain, but now, we can even build a house. Naturally, we have to return the grain. Liang Jinxiao felt her heart ache. That was her biological brother, and he was actually so calculative with her. In the past few years, Zhao Wenhua had helped the Liang family a lot when they were busy farming. On one hand, Zhao Wenhua was busy working in the Zhao family's fields, and on the other hand, he had to help the Liang family. At that time, he was really exhausted and didn't have any rest. After helping so much and working hard for so many years, how could it not be worth 3 loads of grain? Zhao Yuner really couldn't complain about her eldest uncle and second uncle's whole family. Indeed, birds of a feather flocked together. Weirdos simply gathered together. As for the few loads of grain, Zhao Yuner planned to ask Zhao Wenhua to return them. In the future, they shouldn't have any contact with Liang Jinxiao's family. Zhao Yuner was afraid that if she didn't return the money, the Liang family would think that they owed them. Once their lives improved, the Liang family would come over to take advantage of them. On the contrary, Zhao Yuner's family would suffer. Father, mother, did old Zhao's family eat these 3 dan of grain together? Zhao Yuner asked. That's right. At that time, our old Zhao family was having a hard time. That's why we had to borrow some food. Then if we return the grain to first uncle and second uncle, old Zhao's family should be more forgiving. We can't just borrow the grain for everyone to eat, and then return the grain to the third branch. Zhao Wenhua seemed to be in a dilemma. Now that we've separated from the family, it's not convenient for us to tell your grandparents. Father, what's so hard to say? Didn't they eat the grain? Alright, I'll go and discuss it with your grandfather. Zhao Yuner nodded. She didn't want the third branch to suffer this loss. Old Zhao's family had taken advantage of them for nothing. She didn't care about the small amount of money. When Zhao Wenhua entered Zhao Baoshan's house, she heard curses coming from the house. It was Hua Chunhua. After that, Zhao Baoshan said something, and Hua Chunhua finally agreed to take out the money. Where's my money? Why is 3 taels of silver missing? Hua Chunhua's roar came again. Zhao Wenhua hurriedly asked. What's wrong, mother? The money is missing. Mother, look for it again. Don't worry. Hua Chunhua rummaged through the cupboard for a while, but she still couldn't find it. It's missing, it's missing, it's missing, the money is missing. Who the hell took my money? Hua Chunhua rushed out of the house crying and screaming. She shouted towards the yard, and the rest of old Zhao's family came out of the house. Chapter 650. Zhao Wenshi leaned forward and asked with concern. Yes, mother. What happened? Why are you yelling like this? Mother, calm down. Speak slowly. We are a family. What can't be solved? Hua Chunhua slapped her thigh and cried. I lost my money. Which one of you went into the house and took my money? Old Zhao's family members looked at each other. They were a little confused by this sudden situation. Mother, what did you say? You lost your money? Did you make a mistake? Zhao Wenshi asked embarrassedly. Hua Chunhua glared at Zhao Wenshi. Do you think your mother is so old that she made a mistake? Hua Chunhua might not pay attention to other things, but she was very clear when it came to money. She would know if a penny was missing. Mother, have you searched the house? Yes, I've searched everywhere, but I didn't find it. Tell me, which one of you went into the house and took the money? Tell me honestly. Hua Chunhua said angrily. The money couldn't have disappeared. Someone must have taken it. Mother, how could we have taken the money? We haven't separated from the family yet. Isn't the money in your hands? No one has taken it for so many years. That's right, mother. If we have any use for it, we will ask you for the money directly. Who would take the money? Mother, we didn't take it. You can look again. Old Zhao's family members insisted that they didn't take the money. Hua Chunhua also felt that it was impossible for them to have taken the money. After all, although the money was kept by her, it was used by old Zhao's family members. For so many years, no matter how anxious they were to use the money, they had never stolen it. If it's not you, then it must be the third branch. You just separated from the family, and you're already thinking about my money. Hua Chunhua looked at Zhao Wenhua's family suspiciously. Old Zhao, tell me, did you take the money?
You're the only ones living in the entire courtyard. Other than your branch, there's no one else. Zhao Wenhua frowned. Mother, what are you talking about? Why would I take your money? Liang Jinxiao also hurriedly said. Mother, we would never do such a thing. You can't just say that we took the money when you lost it, right? The third branch wasn't willing to take the blame for this. After all, it really had nothing to do with them. Hua Chunhua snorted. If it's not you, who else could it be? Are there other people living in our courtyard? Could it be a thief? Don't say that my money grew wings and flew away. Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao felt helpless. Zhao Yun'er couldn't take it anymore. They weren't fools, so they had to take the blame. The corners of her mouth curled up, and she sneered. Grandmother, how did you lose your money? That's your problem. You don't have any evidence. So how can you accuse the third branch of the family of stealing it? Besides, grandmother, we only steal money because we don't have money. Our family is preparing to build a big house now, so we can earn a lot of money ourselves. Why would we have the time to steal your money? Hua Chunhua didn't know how to refute Zhao Yun'er's words. Zhao Yun'er's words made sense. The third branch of the family could build a big house for a few dozen taels of silver. Zhao Yun'er could earn money, and the heir was so rich. Why would he be interested in her 3 taels of silver? But where did the money go? Chapter 651. Mother, you're right. I also feel that someone stole the money. Zhao Wenshui hurriedly chimed in. Then who could it be? Who came to our courtyard? Mother, no one came. Who else came these days besides third brother's future son-in-law? Hua Chunhua shook her head. No, the money was still there when I counted it 2 days ago. Qin Yuan came 2 days ago, so it couldn't be Qin Yuan. Then who could it be? As they were talking, their gazes fell on Ma Xiaofeng, who was at the side. In the past 2 days, only Ma Xiaofeng came by twice, so Hua Chunhua targeted Ma Xiaofeng. Little Feng, did you steal my family's money? Ma Xiaofeng was stunned. How could she say that? Being questioned by Hua Chunhua, Ma Xiaofeng pouted and said, Granny Zhao, it wasn't me. I don't steal. It wasn't you? If it wasn't you, then no one else came to my house. You learned how to steal at such a young age. I have to call your mother over and ask her how she raised a thief. Hua Chunhua didn't mind making a big deal out of it. Ma Xiaofeng suddenly became anxious. If the villagers came over and heard Hua Chunhua's nonsense, what would she do if they thought she was a thief? In the village, reputation was very important. She also wanted to save face. If she was treated as a thief, she would be drowned in saliva. Li Chuiying muttered in front of Hua Chunhua. Mother, I think it's very likely that little Feng stole the money. After all, their family is so poor. Yes, I think so too. Hua Chunhua nodded and said coldly to Ma Xiaofeng, Little Feng, hurry up and hand over the money you stole. Otherwise, we'll have to report it to the authorities. When the time comes, I'll throw you in jail. Ma Xiaofeng immediately panicked and shook her head. Granny Zhao, it really wasn't me. I didn't steal your family's money. Ma Xiaofeng felt wronged. She was framed by old Zhao's family. She was about to cry. Hua Chunhua snorted softly. Xiaofeng, you brat. Not only did you steal things, you even lied. With such a character, who would dare to marry you in the future? At this time, some villagers came over and heard the whole story. They also thought that Ma Xiaofeng must have stolen it. Granny Zhao, it wasn't me. I never steal from others. Ma Xiaofeng continued to defend herself. Some villagers believed Ma Xiaofeng's words. They had never seen Ma Xiaofeng steal from anyone. Auntie Zhao, is there a misunderstanding? Misunderstanding? What misunderstanding could there be? I didn't see anyone else in my house except her. Could it be that someone else in the village stole it? Hua Chunhua replied angrily. When Hua Chunhua said this, the villagers fell silent. What if Hua Chunhua put the blame on them? They were all decent people and didn't steal from others. They couldn't be called thieves by Hua Chunhua. No one wanted to get into trouble for an unrelated person. They just came to watch the show. Ma Xiaofeng felt that it was hard for her to defend herself. If she had known, she wouldn't have come to Zhao Yun'er's house. She didn't achieve her goal, and was now wrongly accused of stealing 3 taels of silver. Hua Chunhua walked in front of Ma Xiaofeng
and pushed Ma Xiaofeng. You brat, quickly hand over the 3 taels of silver that you stole. Whoa, Ma Xiaofeng was pushed to the ground by Hu Chunhua and started to cry. Chapter 652. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. I didn't steal it. Zhao Yuner glanced at Ma Xiaofeng, who was lying on the ground. She felt sorry for her. Hu Chunhua had gone too far. She had also said that Dauda didn't have a father and wasn't educated. Zhao Yuner wondered whether Ma Xiaofeng had stolen the money. After thinking for a while, she ruled it out. Mom, maybe Xiaofeng stole it. She seems quite honest. Zhao Wenshui glanced at Ma Xiaofeng, who was lying on the ground, and defended her. After all, Ma Xiaofeng was Qian Chuanxiu's daughter. Given his relationship with Qian Chuanxiu, he couldn't leave Ma Xiaofeng alone. Otherwise, Qian Chuanxiu would definitely make a fuss about it. It would be impossible for him to have sex with Qian Chuanxiu in the future. Wenshui, why are you defending an outsider? Hu Chunhua gave Zhao Wenshui a glare with displeasure. Mom, I'm not defending an outsider. I just feel that if Xiaofeng wasn't the one who stole the money, we would be wronging her. Why would you say that? She can prove that she didn't steal the money. Mom, Zhao Wenshui sighed. When he was about to say something, Li Chuiying gave him a look. Zhao Yuner originally thought that Zhao Wenshui helped Ma Xiaofeng because of the deal between Qian Chuanxiu and Zhao Wenshui. However, when she caught a glimpse of the guilt in Zhao Wenshui's eyes and saw Li Chuiying's meaningful glance, she frowned and guessed that her second uncle might have stolen the money. Sister. Zhao Tianan pulled Zhao Yuner's hand. What's wrong? Elder sister, can you please save Xiaofeng? Zhao Yuner was confused. Tianan, why do you think I can save her? Second sister, you are so powerful. No one can outtalk you. You can definitely help Xiaofeng. Zhao Yuner glanced at Zhao Tianan. Her younger brother was extremely anxious at this moment. If she didn't help, she reckoned that Zhao Tianan would blame her for the grievances that Ma Xiaofeng had suffered. In his heart, he would have complaints and grudges against her, his second sister. Zhao Yuner sighed in her heart. Regarding Hu Chunhua's slanderous accusations, Zhao Yuner could not bear to watch. Thus, she raised her voice and said to Hu Chunhua, Grandma, do you know that a false accusation can backfire? If you send her to the authorities and say that she stole from our house, there will be no evidence. You will have to stay in jail. Hu Chunhua curled her lips and said, How can there be no evidence? This girl was the only one who came to our house. She came in the daytime. Master was lying in the room. How could she steal under my watch? Well, besides, when she came, Pinger and Tianan were both there. There were 2 people watching her. How could she steal the money? Well, after being casually questioned by Zhao Yuner, Hu Chunhua couldn't refute. Zhao Tianan looked at Zhao Yuner with gratitude and admiration. Ma Xiaofeng, who was lying on the ground, also looked over with gratitude. What Yuner said makes sense. Auntie Zhao is really too much. How is Xiaofeng going to live in the village in the future if she says that? That's right. Xiaofeng has been wrong for nothing. Don't worry. Xiaofeng's mother will definitely make trouble later. Haha, then there will be a good show to watch later. Chapter 653. Zhao Yuner curled up her lips. Grandma, it's your business who stole the money. It has nothing to do with anyone else. It's hard to guard against thieves in the family. You have to think carefully about who in our family is so short of money that they stole your money. After Zhao Yuner finished speaking, Hu Chunhua was lost in thought. She couldn't think of a reason at the moment. She was unwilling to accept it. 3 taels of silver. There wasn't much money left at home. Now she lost so much money all of a sudden. Without evidence, she couldn't blame anyone. Hu Chunhua panicked when she thought about it. She sat down on the ground and burst into tears. Old Zhao's family hurried forward to help Hu Chunhua up. Mom, don't cry. Let's look for the money again. We'll definitely find it. Mom, crying won't solve the problem now. Don't cry. It's easy to hurt your body if you cry too much. Let's continue to think of a way. Wah, my money, my 3 taels of silver. I can buy a lot of things with them. Hu Chunhua couldn't listen to old Zhao's family's persuasion. She was still crying loudly. Zhao Yun'er's lips trembled. Looking at Hua Chuanhua's appearance, she felt it was ridiculous. Losing money was even sadder than losing her parents. Seeing that Ma Xiaofeng's innocence was proven, Zhao Tianan went forward to comfort her. Xiaofeng, it's okay now. Don't be sad. Ma Xiaofeng nodded. If she was really wrong this time, she wouldn't be able to clear her name, even if she jumped into the Yellow River. Yes. It's all thanks to Sister Yuner. My second sister is so awesome. My grandma can't answer with just a few words. Yeah, if it wasn't for Sister Yuner, I wouldn't know what to do. Xiaofeng, did you see that? My second sister helped you this time. It means that she doesn't dislike you. Otherwise, she definitely wouldn't help you. Ma Xiaofeng's sister lit up. It would be great if that was the case. Zhao Yuner heard the conversation between Zhao Tianan and Ma Xiaofeng. She really didn't know what to say about her younger brother. She was simply blinded by love. To the woman he loved, what was she, his biological sister, to him? Thinking of this, Zhao Yuner suddenly felt a little sad. Zhao Yuner, I didn't expect you to be so smart. Seeing that Zhao Yuner helped Ma Xiaofeng, Zhao Ping'er also praised Zhao Yuner. Zhao Yuner smirked. She was smart? Actually, it was just that there were too many brainless people who didn't think about it carefully. There were clearly so many suspicious points and loopholes. Of course. Do you think everyone is as stupid as you? Zhao Yuner replied to Zhao Ping'er sarcastically. You. Zhao Ping'er looked at Zhao Yuner angrily. Father, mother, I'm going back to cook first. Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao both nodded and responded. Zhao Yuner drove Xiaomao back home. Mu Lianfeng and Daodu were in the courtyard. Daodu seemed to be in the horse stance, and Mu Lianfeng was guiding him. Zhao Yuner saw this and asked curiously, "What is Daodu doing?" Mu Lianfeng saw Zhao Yuner coming back and explained with a smile, "I'm teaching Daodu Kung Fu." Yes, mother. Daodu wants to learn Kung Fu from father, so that he can protect the people he wants to protect. When Daodu grows up, he will be able to protect mother. Chapter 654. Learning Kung Fu was not a bad thing. With one more ability to defend oneself, not to mention protecting others, but to protect herself, at least it would reduce the chances of Daodu being bullied by others. However, learning Kung Fu wasn't easy either. Learning Kung Fu at such a young age made it very difficult for Daodu to persist. Mu Lianfeng was very strict with Daodu. He made Daodu persist in the horse stance for a long time. In the end, Daodu's forehead began to sweat, and his little lips began to tremble. If Mu Lianfeng didn't tell him to stop, Daodu wouldn't stop. He continued to persist. Seeing Daodu unable to persist, Zhao Yuner couldn't help but feel distressed. Mu Lianfeng, Daodu has been in the horse stance for so long. It's about time, right? Mu Lianfeng shook his head. Although he also felt distressed for Daodu, he didn't have the slightest bit of softness or slack off for Daodu. No, it won't be effective if it's not time. Since Daodu said he wanted to learn Kung Fu, he has to persist. He can't give up halfway, right? Zhao Yuner sighed. She felt that Mu Lianfeng was too strict with a child. Mother, don't worry about Daodu. Daodu can do it. Daodu bit his lower lip and said to Zhao Yuner, "Daodu is awesome." Zhao Yuner didn't know what else to say. After about a quarter of an hour, Mu Lianfeng finally stopped Daodu. Zhao Yuner hurried forward and wiped the beads of sweat off Daodu's forehead. She was very distressed. Then she pinched Daodu's arms and legs, hoping that he would feel more comfortable. Mother, Daodu is fine. Daodu's little face was filled with determination. Before Daodu started learning Kung Fu, Mu Lianfeng had made it clear to Daodu that if he decided to learn, he would have to endure hardships. If he couldn't endure hardships, then he should give up early. Daodu gritted his teeth, confident that he could hold on. How could I be fine? So tired. Mother, Daodu is really fine. Daodu is a man now. All right then, Daodu is a man. Zhao Yuner lovingly patted Daodu's head. Mu Lianfeng also stepped forward and praised Daodu generously. Daodu is the best. Sure enough, it was his son just like him. This kind of perseverance wasn't something that ordinary people didn't have. For Daodu to persist at such a young age, it was rare that he didn't cry out in pain or exhaustion. Hee, Daodu smiled shyly. Daodu is so good. Father, shouldn't you reward Dowda with something? Mu Lianfeng rubbed his chin and thought for a moment. What does father want to reward Dowda? Dowda looked at Mu Lianfeng expectantly. How about this? Father will reward Dowda with a wooden horse. When Dowda grows up, father will give Dowda a real horse, okay? Dowda immediately became excited when he heard this. Okay, father. All right then. Father will find some time in the next 2 days to help Dowda build a wooden horse. Okay. Zhao Yuner quietly watched the interaction between the father and son, and the corners of her mouth curled up. Having a father by Dowda's side was indeed better than having a mother like her. Sometimes, she couldn't completely imagine what Dowda wanted. In fact, children who grew up in normal families would want their parents by their side. The family casually ate something for lunch. In the afternoon, Mu Lianfeng handed Dowda to Zhao Yuner and said to Zhao Yuner, Yuner, I'm going to Yang City to get some medicine for your scar removal. Chapter 655. Mu Lianfeng agreed. If Zhao Yuner went with them, the doctor could take a look at the scar on her face and prescribe the right medicine. The ointment he gave would definitely be able to remove the scar more easily. Then Yuner, you have to make breakfast in the afternoon. I'll let Mulan and my mother do it. It's actually not difficult. It's not much. All right. After the meal, they rested for a while. When Mo Yin brought the horse over, the two of them rode towards Yang City. The horse was naturally faster than Xiao Mao. The two of them arrived in 10 to 20 minutes. Mu Lianfeng asked around. Everyone thought that the doctor was Hua Tuo. Plus, his surname was Hua, so they called him Miracle Doctor Hua. Miracle Doctor Hua didn't live in the downtown area of Yang City. Instead, he lived somewhere outside of Yang City. Zhao Yuner and Mu Lianfeng searched for a while before they finally found out where Miracle Doctor Hua lived. When they rushed over, they saw a courtyard that was built with a house made of bamboo. The courtyard was surrounded by a fence. There were many flowers and fruit trees in the courtyard. It was spring and the peach blossoms had bloomed. The whole courtyard was filled with peach blossoms. It was very beautiful. Zhao Yuner couldn't help but sigh when she saw this scene. She wanted to make her own house like this when she got back. Looking at Miracle Doctor Hua's residence, Zhao Yuner roughly knew that Miracle Doctor Hua's personality was probably that of a reclusive person. When the two of them arrived at Miracle Doctor Hua's house, the door to the courtyard was closed. They called out a few times before a medicine boy came to open the door. He looked unhappy and said to Zhao Yuner and Mu Lianfeng, Why are you so loud? My master is taking an afternoon nap. Zhao Yuner and Mu Lianfeng were embarrassed. They said to the medicine boy, Sorry, we didn't know that Miracle Doctor Hua was taking an afternoon nap. We're here to ask for medicine. The medicine boy looked at Zhao Yuner and Mu Lianfeng. Ask for medicine? It's not easy to get my master's medicine. This medicine boy looked no more than 12 or 13 years old, but when he spoke to Zhao Yuner and Mu Lianfeng, he had a proud look on his face. We have to give it a try. Other than Miracle Doctor Hua, I don't know where else we can get the medicine. My master is sleeping right now. He can't see you. Don't worry, we'll wait for Miracle Doctor Hua to wake up. All right then, come in and wait. Zhao Yuner and Mu Lianfeng responded and followed the attendant into Divine Doctor Hua's courtyard. The courtyard was quite big. It was surrounded by tall trees and verdant bamboos. It was very quiet. There was also a small pond in the courtyard. The water was clear, and there were a few goldfish swimming in it. There were also some unknown flowers in the surroundings, all of them bright red. The medical apprentice beckoned Zhao Yuner and Mu Lianfeng to the stone stools under the grape trellis and sat down. Then he brought 2 cups of water over. Although this medicine boy was very proud just now, he wasn't careless when it came to serving people. Zhao Yuner and Mu Lianfeng weren't in a hurry. They could admire Miracle Doctor Hua's courtyard. Mu Lianfeng, let's make the house like this in the future, okay? As long as you like it. I'm fine with anything. All right then. When our house is built, I'll make it like Miracle Doctor Hua's house. Living in such a house was also a kind of enjoyment. Zhao Yuner started to look forward to it. After waiting for about an hour, the medicine boy came over and said, You can go in. My master is awake. Alright, thank you. That you're tuning in to the Lee May's Sword of Destiny YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support. And don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.